The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
What's today?
It's Thursday.
Really? Feels like Tuesday.
It's not the weekend.
It's just Thursday.
Thursday, baby.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
Congratulations, you've reached the final day of No Nut November. Just a few more hours and you can have all the nuts you want. Happy whacking.
And I just had an orgasm. I'm sorry.
I'm so excited to get started.
Now take your position. It's showtime.
Be pretty cool to know how to do all that, right? The banner,
I bet you could do it.
And the
You could do that too.
That part?
Yeah, you could do them both.
Yeah, it's about time to get cooking here. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Here we sit, going to try and blast our way through a Thursday broadcast. Last day of No Nut November. You had that involved in your intro there, Josh. Nobody followed along with that.
God, no.
No.
I remember there was a couple years we did, and you and I both thought easy peasy, and we dominated. We were awesome in those 2 years we did it in a row, but since you're right, it's kind of, what's the point? You got to get the evil out, Dana always says.
Or bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, you make bad decisions.
Or bad decisions are going to be made. No Nut November.
I put all my money in GameStop that one year. Remember that? That was the decision I made.
No.
I put all of it in GameStop.
God,
lost everything.
That's only a crazy person would.
Well, I had all my seed.
Yeah.
It was making me do dumb things. You know who's having a really good day today is...
who's having a good day?
One Good Eye Jesus. Today's his Friday. We got to wait till tomorrow for our Friday.
That's terrific.
The intro is just talking about it's only Thursday.
Absolutely terrific. What was the name again?
One Good Eye Jesus.
One Good Eye. Today's your Friday.
Have a good weekend.
You got life nailed over there, son. What's this I'm hearing about a Spinal Tap sequel?
Yeah, they're doing it. They've been talking about it for so long, but they're finally going to start doing it here soon.
All those... What's that?
I don't know how I like that.
You don't know how you like that?
Yeah, I love Spinal Tap so much. I think it's gonna get ruined.
You know,
yeah, a lot of sequels ruin movies. Yeah.
I liked Spinal Tap, but it was kind of ruined from the beginning because of all the expectations I had. Everyone said it was the greatest comedy, and I'm not disrespecting it. It was very funny, obviously, but it was one of those where the bar was so high that I wish I didn't know anything about it when I saw it.
Oh, true.
I agree with you on what you're saying. I do really love Spinal Tap. Those three actors, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, who respectively, if I'm not mistaken, Michael McKean, and this is some of the brilliance involved in the original Spinal Tap movie from what, 84? Was it 84? Can someone?
84.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is some of the...
because it was fourth grade when it came. Fourth grade from...
Jesus Christ, fourth grade. Some of the subtle brilliance involved in... I agree with you, Josh, that it's a little overrated.
A little bit.
It has been from the get-go.
That doesn't mean it's not an incredible movie.
Exactly. It doesn't mean it's not great. It doesn't mean it's not funny. It's just, it's not quite as... There are people who will just throw themselves in front of buses and defend Spinal Tap. Kind of like the Monty Python thing, but we don't need to get into all that. Where I'm going with this is, there is pure brilliance in that movie, and it begins with the character names for me personally. Michael McKean plays lead singer of Spinal Tap, David St. Hubbins. I love, that's so, is that not so English? Yep. They were going for the dopiest, most English sounding names. So Michael McKean is David St. Hubbins. Don't tell me. Christopher Guest is Nigel Tufnell.
Yep.
And Harry Shearer, my favorite, of all the character names in Spinal Tap, plays the bass player, Derek Smalls. On bass, Derek Smalls.
Oh, when he gets stuck in the pod.
It's not fair when he gets stuck in the pod because
gets out.
everybody else got out of their pod, but he wasn't. Anyway, I'm interested in this Spinal Tap sequel. And okay, so my first question is, all those guys are still around?
As far as I know, yeah.
Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, Michael McKean.
Says they're all set to return alongside Reiner.
Rob Reiner's still around.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wasn't so sure about all. And thank you for including Rob Reiner because he plays such a big role in the original. All four of those guys are still living. That's great. I mean, and so many folks remember the songs from the original. Stonehenge, of course. Great song, Stonehenge. Big Bottom. Talk about mud flaps. My gal's got them. Yeah. Big Bottom. Talk about bum cakes, I think is the lyric. And talk about bum cakes. My gal's got them. I also really liked their...
It's a beautiful song.
Oh, you talking about...
People just can't stop giggling over there.
The ballad that he wrote, the ballad?
Yeah, when he's playing the piano and he's like, oh, this is beautiful. What's the name of this song?
The song's called, I'm not going to say it, but...
Yeah.
It's funny how this movie's still, quoted so many years later and so often, and also how so many businesses have gotten involved, like different amp makers, their amps will go to 11.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same with some, because it's one better, right? They go to 11. And same with some pedals, guitar pedals, stuff like that. They go up to 11 because of that movie.
They took a long time to make a second record, This is Spinal Tap. Their first record came out in 1984, and they didn't make another one until 1992. And a lot of folks forget about their second record, which was called Break Like the Wind. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, I'm an idiot. I'm a sucker for some of this stuff. For whatever reason, I cannot get over the lead single from that second record, Break Like the Wind. I cannot get over the fact that they had a song called Bitch School. And I remember the music video. I remember Bitch School. I can't get over it. There are some elements to Spinal Tap that have held me for decades.
Oh, no.
I do love a lot of what those guys put together.
Steelers fan Jesus just found out right this second that the band was not real. The show was a mockumentary. I'm sorry to break the news to you.
I'll be honest, I was going to bring this up. When I first saw it in elementary school, I thought it was a real deal documentary.
Did you really?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because they had appeared on The Simpsons, too, so I just thought it was like a real band.
Well, they did become a real band.
I didn't realize that it was all just a goof at first.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like third grade.
You don't have to holler at me.
Much younger than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Yeah, when you saw it.
So there you go.
I rescind my statement.
All right, well, I'll hang around for this. Does anyone have any idea when this is going to be?
March, I believe.
And it's going to be in theaters or one of those goofy channels that I don't understand on my television?
As far as I know, it's theaters.
All right.
And they said they got Paul McCartney, Elton John, and Garth Brooks appearing in it.
Oh, they can leave those folks out.
It says the sequel is said to mimic the style of Martin Scorsese's The Last Waltz, which was a legendary concert film that documented the farewell tour of the band.
Yeah, see, I never saw that. Mm-hmm. But I'm well aware of it, but never saw it. Sure. All right, that's fun. I hope it doesn't get ruined. Wapple's concerned that it'll ruin the legacy of Spinal Tap.
I just love the movie so much.
I understand.
Even like all the hype. I think Big Lebowski is probably the movie that got too much hype for me.
That movie's definitely very hyped.
I've heard that many times before. The Big Lebowski people, they talk it up like it's the second coming of... Wapple, I think, don't be worried about the Spinal Tap sequel ruining everything, because those four guys that we mentioned are so talented. I think it'll be difficult for them to completely F it up. Those four guys, Christopher Guest and Michael McKean, Harry Shearer and Rob Reiner, they're too smart for that. So
I would never play drums for that band if I was offered. They said, you want to play? I'd say, yeah, I'd love to be in the band. What position? Drummer? No, thank you.
I'm out.
Now, with all this talk of a Spinal Tap sequel, somebody called AV Club, must be a website.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, they've got all kinds of good stuff on there.
They had a conversation on their website about terrible sequels. Not that it ruined everything altogether, and no one ever wanted to deal, with the franchise ever again, but they were just bad sequels. Let me throw a few of these at you. There's plenty here that they talk about that I'm sure none of us have ever touched the sequel, if we even bothered with the original.
Anchorman 2 hurt a lot.
I never saw it.
Yeah, that was definitely not that great.
And the problem with that one, Anchorman 2, is for like 6 or 7 months before it came out, Ron Burgundy, or Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy, was appearing everywhere. He was on every talk show. He was on SportsCenter every day.
We interviewed him, didn't we? I swear, either we had an opportunity. Yeah, we did, and
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, it wasn't Will Ferrell; it was Ron Burgundy.
I think we weren't allowed to call him Will.
That's right. Yeah.
Boy, I don't remember anything about that. Okay, Ron Burgundy Part 2 isn't in the conversation here, Wapple, on avclub.com or whatever the website is called. So, but that doesn't disregard what you said. I think a lot of folks were very disappointed by Ron Burgundy Part 2. They mentioned Caddyshack 2, which still to this day, never saw it.
I actually liked Caddyshack 2.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
I'll have to try it someday. I loved Jackie Mason. Jackie Mason is one of the funniest men that's ever lived. He's gone now, isn't he, Jackie Mason?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe so.
My God, he was so funny.
Yeah, 2021.
Just a couple years ago.
Okay. Here's why I never bothered with Caddyshack 2. When 1988, I was in high school. When that sumbitch came out, a few of my buddies raced to the theater. Because we've been big fans of the original since it came out in 1980. So here comes 1988, Caddyshack 2. My God, there was a massive amount of excitement. A few of my buddies went and saw it on opening night. And I think we met at a beer party later that night, and I couldn't wait to find out, how is Caddyshack 2? And they basically told me if I ever went to see it myself, they would kick my ass. They said it was just horrible. And they say Dan Aykroyd is terrible, and he ruins the whole thing. Anyone bother with Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever?
Nope.
No. I've never seen the full Saturday Night Fever, just portions of it when it's been on cable or whatever.
Ditto.
I wanted to bring this one up just because I am a big Travolta fan, and I do really like Saturday Night Fever. Not that because it's a wonderful movie and the acting is great, just because it's not. Saturday Night Fever is a strange movie. It's not terribly well done, but I have to admit, to this day, the music is incredibly good. Of course, the Bee Gees are involved in 99% of that record. I still will watch Saturday Night Fever because of the music, and I also got to admit, some of the dancing stuff is pretty friggin' cool. I wish I could dance like that. But Staying Alive, which came out in 83, which is a total garbage can. That's all that movie was a smelly garbage can.
Stallone directed that one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I watched the Stallone documentary on Netflix, and I learned a lot that I didn't really know about him, including some of these movies that he directed. I didn't know he directed so much more than what he did.
Did anyone bother with the second Blair Witch?
Oh,
No.
that was tough.
It was bad?
It was bad.
I didn't mind it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I didn't see it.
It's awful, Ashley. High school kids could have put on a better production than Blair Witch Part 2.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Book of Shadows, I thought that was a cool name.
Yeah.
But I never made it.
Book of Shadows, which I thought was kind of a ripoff because Zakk Wylde made an album called Book of Shadows.
He did. I enjoyed that.
Oh, that record is outstanding, but I don't need to go crazy on records here. I still know what you did last summer.
I saw that.
Never saw
I did too.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was okay.
But the original one was stupid too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's not like you're going to be so let down because of the cinema of the original.
Right. I didn't watch anything. I didn't watch the last summer series because I was wanting to be, wildly entertained by a great story. I watched it because of Jennifer Love Hewitt. I still know what you did last summer is awful.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just like the first one.
Yeah. Zoolander Part 2?
Oh, see, I might get hate for this, but I never really liked the original Zoolander.
No, neither did I.
You know, I gotta
It
watch
annoys
it.
me.
That's another one where I've only seen bits and pieces of it when it's been on. Mm-hmm. Is it worth watching the first one?
No.
I didn't care for
I
it.
don't
kind
think
of dumb.
so.
I want to choke Ben Stiller the entire friggin'
Yeah.
program.
Really?
There's some funny stuff. I mean, there is some funny stuff, but Zoolander's wildly overrated, so I didn't have anything to do with. We're talking about terrible sequels here. American Psycho 2. Now, see, I bring that up because I really love love American Psycho with what's his name? Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
That's so friggin' foul and disgusting and awful that I love it. And then I guess the second one, I've seen 10, 12 minutes of it. Wasn't it, what's her name? From Family Guy. She does Meg's voice.
Mila Kunis?
Tell me if I'm wrong. I thought
It's Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
she's the lead character. She's the psycho, if I'm not mistaken.
Now I'm suddenly interested.
William
Yeah,
Shatner's
same
in that
here.
one
Hold
too.
on.
William Shatner?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Like I said, I've only seen a few minutes of American Psycho Part 2. I'll watch anything with William Shatner. And sure, that Kunis is a cute gal. All right, here's one I wanted to make sure I mentioned because Dumb and Dumberer from 2003, the sequel to Dumb and Dumber. Not Jim Carrey and help me.
Jeff Daniels.
They got a couple of kids. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
It was a prequel from when they were like teenagers or something.
I never watched.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
I should have said that. It's a prequel, not a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not that bad. That's thrown into the conversation here on this website of really terrible sequels. I'm telling you. Specifically, the kid who plays a young Lloyd Christmas is very good. Very good. Don't completely disregard Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd. Sorry, I didn't give you the full When Harry. It's not that bad.
I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember enjoying it.
Oh, God, the kid who plays Lloyd Christmas, Jim Carrey's character, is very good. I've seen him in some other things. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw you here. I'm gonna impress you. I believe the kid who plays Lloyd Christmas also is on the German beer drinking team in Beer Fest.
Yep, you're right.
See?
Nice.
I know what I'm talking about.
That was impressive.
Yeah. Basic Instinct 2, I never went down that path.
Well, just 1 second though. I bet like a lot of his family members don't realize he was in Beer Fest and Dumb and Dumberer. So that's very impressive.
I don't know. He's been on like one of the NCISs forever.
Oh, he has.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So people know who he is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Eric Christian Olsen's his name.
Eric Christian Olsen. I did not know he was a somebody. I thought he was just a dude. Basic Instinct 2? Huh?
I only saw about 5 minutes of Basic Instinct 1. I think
Really?
everybody knows the scene we're talking about.
Oh,
Well,
that's what you saw?
Yeah.
But overall, it's kind of a fun movie.
That's what I've heard, yeah. But
Son of the Mask
that was rough.
with, what's his name? I like him.
Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, I like Jamie Kennedy. Son of the Mask? No, I never went down that route. Another terrible sequel was when LeBron James went ahead with Space Jam Part 2. Space Jam, right?
I loved Space Jam 1. I couldn't watch Space Jam 2 because it got ripped apart so bad.
I never saw the first one. You know, at the time I was too old to watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't think the second one. I saw the second one with my son. I didn't think it was anywhere near as bad as. I mean, I didn't expect to love the movie or anything, but I don't think it was a terrible movie.
I hear you.
Boy, was that panned, that's for sure.
And the Michael B. Jordan cameo, though, how great was that, Josh?
Great, I love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, that was so fun. So the Looney Tunes they're down at halftime. They need something to save them, and one of the Tunes comes in and goes, "Guys, I found him! I found Michael! I found Michael!" And you see the silhouette of a guy, and you think it's Jordan, and walks in, it's Michael B. Jordan. They're like, "Dude, that's not the right one."
I never got myself involved at all in any of the Space Jams, but Scary Movie 5 is mentioned here as a terrible sequel. See, I like that Scary Movie setup.
Yeah, me too.
I really do. They're They're so dumb, they're wonderful.
I don't remember what the fifth one is, though.
No,
I didn't
nobody
even
remembers
know
what
there
it-
was 5. I'm
Right.
sure I watched it.
It doesn't really matter. If it says scary movie, I'll watch it, and
Yeah.
I don't care which one it is. I get a kick out of that stuff. I do. Speed Part 2, Cruise Controls.
That was awful.
Speed on a boat.
That was so bad.
Yeah, well, the first one was stupid, too.
I loved the first one.
I did too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Oh, no, it wasn't. That was great. Speed 2, Cruise Control. Ugh.
Jason Patrick.
Sandra Bullock, Willem Dafoe.
I never saw it. But the first one was, I thought, laughably dumb, so. Showgirls 2. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Showgirls 2, Cubby. Remember when you and I were first in line at the world premiere of Showgirls, the original?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't believe my friend's very religious dad. As a matter of fact, he was a priest in Africa before he obviously stopped becoming a priest and met a nun that he ended up having sex with. Very true story.
All right.
And
Wait a
had
minute.
one of my best friends.
Can we make this into a movie?
That could be a movie.
Yeah, what you're telling us right now sounds way better than Speed 2 Cruise Control.
But he got us into the first one,
Showgirls. I love that movie.
because wasn't that like the first movie or this first big movie that was NC-17?
Yep. And
Boy,
they had Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell all naked all the time.
Yeah, she was naked. I don't remember anything about the NC-17. That was the first NC-17 movie?
I thought so. Maybe it wasn't the first, but at least the first.
First, like, big mainstream
bigger
one.
Yeah.
Want me to impress you again the way I did with that Dumb and Dumberer and Beer Fest connection?
Yeah.
I can tell you what the first PG-13 movie was ever. Want me to dump it on you?
Can I guess? I think I know.
Go ahead.
Was it one of the Indiana Jones movies?
No!
Dang. It was Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
Oh.
Wolverines! C. Thomas Howell, Charlie Sheen, Patrick Swayze. Who am I missing in there, Josh?
The Flamingo Kid.
That's right.
Speaking of Showgirls, has anybody ever seen it on TV, like on VH1?
No, why would I do that to myself?
Well, because I'm like, how are they going to put Showgirls on VH1? So I was curious, so I popped it on, and what they did is they very poorly CGI'd like bra tops on the naked dancers
Oh, no.
to the point it was just comical how bad it looked.
That's great. Oh, they mentioned a Jaws sequel in here. The 3D Jaws, called Jaws the Revenge from 1987. Never saw it.
I wanted to see that simply because of the 3D aspect, but I never did either.
Oh, I can't do 3D movies. They give me headache. I get dizzy.
Remember when that was like going to be the next big thing? 3D movies? This
Really?
is it. It's going to change movies forever. You're never going to watch a regular movie again, and boy, did that flop.
Mm-hmm. Same with the 3D TVs that just came out a few years ago.
Oh, it was way more than a few years ago, wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
guess it wasn't at this point.
A while ago.
Well, Josh, are you referring to like the early to mid 80s when there was, are you talking about that 3D mania?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Yes, I do.
Because the Avatar thing was very cool. Avatar in 3D. That's the first time I thought, man, I could actually see watching more movies like this. But what has been a big one since? Anybody think of one?
No.
No.
Was the
Couldn't
sequel
tell you.
3D? I didn't see it
I
in
never
theaters.
saw it.
They might have had 3D options. I'm not sure.
In the early to mid 80s, there was a real rush on 3D everything. And, right here in 87, Jaws made a 3D movie. I even remember, God, I wonder if someone can help me out with this. So I would say probably 83, 84, Josh, Channel 9 here in town put a 3D movie on television. And I think you had to go to a gas station or something to get the glasses. So it was just like the friggin' 50s all over again kind of a thing. Can anyone tell me, does anyone remember? Do you remember that at all, Josh?
Channel 9 doing that?
Channel
No.
9, they hyped it for months, it seemed, that they're going to show a 3D movie. And like I said, you went somewhere to get your glasses. Can anyone tell me what that friggin' movie was? It was a gorilla attacking a city type movie. It wasn't King Kong.
It wasn't Planet of the Apes?
It wasn't Planet of the... No, it was a real goofy B movie. If Big Al...
Gorilla at Large?
That's it. Gorilla at
Nice.
Large. I remember... Who texted that?
I found it online.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
What year was it? Did they mention the year?
It looks like it was 1982.
82. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Gorilla. All I remember was all this hype. Don't miss this 3D movie on Channel 9. Kids gather around the television. And you're right, it was called Gorilla at Large. And it was absolutely horrible.
You had to go to Tom Thumb to get the glasses, and they're selling 2 pairs for 99 cents.
You found an article about it? Or
somebody made a Facebook post about it last year on the 40th anniversary of it.
God help us. That was so... It was very interesting. Okay, the worst 2 sequels, according to this write-up on avclub.com. Grease Part 2 from 1982. And I love Grease. I love it. I already told you how much I dig Travolta. And then, of course, I'm going to try not to get emotional in talking about how much Olivia Newton-John meant to me when she was alive. And just Grease is awesome. It's so funny and just the songs are great. And I can't say enough good things about Grease. Grease 2, never saw it. But I know some people who worship that sumbitch the way most folks worship the original.
And they'll defend it like they will their children or their pet or something.
See, I don't know those type of people, but they do. They love the sequel. My brand new and still mostly obedient wife likes Grease 2 a lot. But I've never gotten involved. I know it's Michelle Pfeiffer, Adrian Zmed. That's all I can tell you about Grease 2. And then number 1, I guess the worst sequel, never saw it. Exorcist 2, The Heretic. The Heretic?
Heretic.
Heretic.
That one gets slammed for sure.
And
I don't remember. I've seen so many scary movies. It's hard to remember what's what.
I love the original Exorcist, too, so I've never bothered with The Heretic. The
Heretic.
What the hell does that mean? You guys know what that means?
Not off the top of my head. I'm going to be honest, no.
What does it mean to be a heretic?
Well, it's a religious deal, right?
Oh.
Like some sort of, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Religion, not my specialty.
Somebody, please tell me this isn't true. I think someone's just trying to mess with my blood pressure. Someone texted and said, you know there's going to be a Dodgeball Part 2,
Oh,
don't
no, there is.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm down for that all day. I love that movie.
Put it in the garbage.
Such a huge staple of my childhood. I watched the heck out of that.
Put it in the garbage where the original belongs. Dodgeball.
I mean, they've been working on that movie for 10 years.
It has been a while.
Oh, it's one of those things?
You can't.
So I wonder if it's legit coming out or
I'll
what.
tell you why they've been working on it for 10 years. It's tough to polish a turd. That's why.
Well, and then everyone wants Pot Fest from Beer Fest.
Oh, the sequel to Beer Fest? Yeah.
Because at the end, they're like, stay tuned for Pot Fest or
Yeah,
whatever.
they ran into Willie Nelson, and we were all hoping for Pot Fest, and it never happened.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be pretty bad, too.
Who knows? I don't know.
It's talented guys over there.
True.
We drank beer with those guys one night, didn't we, Josh? What was that event we were at where we were drinking beers with the Broken Pickle comedy group or whatever
Where were
they're
they
called?
in town?
Did
they have like a
Broken Lizard?
Did they have a traveling comedy show?
They did do a traveling comedy show.
It must
for a
have been
while.
that then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, specifically, we were drinking with Fink, and I'm just naming Beer Fest characters. Fink, I don't know what his name is as an actor, but he was very, very nice and very funny.
Steve something, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Steve Lemmy.
And then we also were hanging out with one of the Wolfhausen, one of the Von Wolfhausen brothers, the skinnier Von Wolfhausen brother. And we talked to him about Great Gam Gam, and we talked about...
Turns out she was a whore.
We brought up Popo, remember, the doll? We said, where did you guys get Popo? And he said, oh, Popo. That happened. Oh, I remember what it was. It was Mark Parrish at a charity event. Mark Parrish.
Oh, sure, okay.
And Mark Parrish was buddies with those guys.
That's cool.
Right.
And I was awful.
People were partying at that thing.
Yeah, I was awful drunk. And I looked at we looked across. I said, that's friggin' Fink and one of the Von Wolfhausen brothers over there. So we went over and we said, Popo. They acted like they weren't totally annoyed. All right, here we go. What is it? What did we say it was? Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal today. We appreciate you hanging around with us, and we'll be back in a minute on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
For decades, Rolling Stone has set the bar for entertainment publications. Today, Rolling Stone Music Now takes over in podcast form.
We have Michael Azerrad, who was Nirvana's very first biographer. I'm not sure how many people realize how many of the best songs on In Utero were written way beforehand.
To be fair to Kurt, he was also a new father. There was a lot of stuff distracting him. It wasn't just drugs, although that was certainly a major factor.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We were jaw-jacking about movie sequels a few minutes ago. Bad ones, specifically, is what we were talking about. It all started from a conversation about Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, the great movie from 1984. Apparently there is going to be a sequel to Spinal Tap. Wapple and others are worried that it's going to be garbage and ruin the legacy. We'll see. So we were talking about movie sequels. A listener texted in a question. I know for me personally the answer is no. Anyone gone out to see Good Burger Part 2?
No, that was straight to streaming, wasn't it? Paramount Plus?
Went to Paramount Plus.
I've never seen the original Good Burger.
Oh, really? I love that movie.
I hear people quote it, and I mean, wasn't it a kids thing?
Yeah, it's a Nickelodeon movie with Keenan and Kel. Keenan Thompson's
really?
now been on SNL for years.
Never saw it.
I've seen parodies of it.
Soda? Kel loves orange soda.
Yeah, me and my best friend from middle school used to watch that almost every single day.
Yeah.
So, as a gentleman who's a couple years away from turning 50, but could easily play 35, 34 if I was cast in a movie.
Oh, without a doubt.
Is it worth seeing at my age?
I think so. Yeah, I'd watch it today. But I don't know if it's because of nostalgia or...
I think there's a lot of nostalgia in play with Good Burger.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were cashing in on the sequel, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited.
It took me a while, but I really like Keenan Thompson now.
Here's the thing, Cubby. I also have never gotten myself involved in the Good Burger movie franchise. I'll watch it with you, Josh, the first one.
That'd be awesome.
Because let's watch it together, and I also agree with... I don't know what's happened to me. Because I've almost never seen the guy. I don't watch Saturday Night Live. I haven't gotten involved in that show for decades. All Keenan Thompson has to do is show up on a television screen, and I'm laughing.
I'm with you.
I friggin' love that guy.
And for whatever reason, he kind of grated on me for a little while, and it was the smiling that got to me. But now, if he doesn't smile, the bit is ruined. I need to have him kind of smile like, hey, I know this is funny.
Yeah.
I love that guy so much. I'd like to try to get more familiar with his work, but I don't know exactly what he does. Just when I see him on commercials, if I ever see a clip online, I love the guy. You know, we were so pumped to have Ric Flair in studio earlier.
Wasn't he awesome?
He was.
Boy, that was so good.
He was incredible. I would like our next big celebrity in studio visit to be Keenan Thompson.
Oh, that would be way cool.
If that prick ever comes to town, let's get him.
That guy. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah, like that actor.
I can't recall if you said this, Josh, but it was like 8 days ago when it came out.
Good Burger 2?
I thought it came out a while ago.
It said November 22nd, 2023.
Yeah, it just came out last week.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they've just been pumping it for a long time.
They've been pumping it for a while.
Cool.
Good Burger
Okay.
Part 2.
We're not too late.
On Arby's. Arby's has a Good Burger 2 meal where you can get a burger, fries, and a strawberry shake.
Do I get a commemorative cup or anything like that?
I don't know about
With
the
Keenan
cup.
Thompson on it.
I don't think so.
Here's a listener that texted in and said the first Good Burger movie has Sinbad in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sinbad.
Is he like the manager or something?
Or is he the bad guy? I'm trying to remember. It's been years since I've seen Good
McDowell's is my favorite movie burger joint.
Yeah.
By far.
I would have really wanted to, if I was living in Queens in 1988, I would have wanted to work on that McDowell's restaurant staff with Akeem and Semi and Willie Anderson. What was his name, the guy from here who died? Reggie Anderson.
Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson. I would have loved to have worked with Louis. Good Burger is a great movie franchise restaurant. Absolutely.
So you had, you said curly hair, like almost kind of an afro when you were growing up.
Yes, I had big hair.
Did you ever want to put some Soul Glow in that thing?
Man, I would have loved to have put Soul Glow in there.
Yeah, I thought that looked cool. I wish I could. My hair was kind of wavy, but never curly like that.
It was big, and it could have used some Soul Glow. I love that song from the commercial.
Yeah,
boy,
me too.
he sings his ass off.
South Florida. I'm sorry. Did somebody already say this? That I think you said it came from a Nickelodeon thing. What was the show?
All That.
All That.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where Good Burger came from.
Yep. It was like a reoccurring bit. They would, do sketches inside the Good Burger, and they made a movie about it.
Was Zoolander the same thing? Was Zoolander started on Saturday Night Live or something, or no? Well, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I know Will Ferrell did that bit on there where he had the small phone or whatever.
I got a text here saying Good Burger movies are super stupid comedy, but if you keep that in mind, you'll laugh a bunch.
Now, this is crazy. Cheesehead for life. Jesus. He's over here trying to tell us that Carmen Electra is in the original Good Burger?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Josh, you are in charge of telling me things like
I
this.
didn't know it. I've never seen it.
You never saw it. I forgot.
Yeah, I
You've
would have
never...
told you.
All right, we got to
Boss Lady Sheeza said Good Burger had a float in the Thanksgiving parade.
I missed that. That's rules.
I only watched about the first 20 minutes of the Thanksgiving parade. I missed that as well. Was Kenan Thompson on the float?
That'd been awesome.
Oh, good question. Yeah, get back to us, Boss Lady Sheezas.
Yes,
Officially,
he was.
he really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
looks like
And
he is.
what's the other guy? Kel something?
Yeah, Kel Mitchell.
I
Kel
would do
Mitchell.
anything
Yes,
that anything that Kenan Thompson asked me to do, I would do. If he pointed at Kel, whoever Kel is, and said, "Kill that guy," I would. That's how highly I think of Kenan Thompson.
Cat 6 Jesus said he read last night Good Burger 2 is Paramount Plus's must-watched thing. Apparently, it's the show to watch. All right, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah,
It's incredible. Also, when we were, and we will get to the stupid news eventually. We get crazy sometimes. I mean, it's all right. You got to give us a break. That's live radio. We go crazy. Before we, I will be getting on the stupid news in just a minute. But earlier, when we were talking about sequels, Wapple mentioned that a lot of us have been waiting to see Weed Fest, the sequel to Beer Fest, because at the end of Beer Fest, the boys run into Willie Nelson and then they tease, hey, coming up next, Weed Fest. But that was 20 years ago. We still haven't seen. Got a joke here from Tired Dad Jesus. You guys ready for a joke?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
He said, you were mentioning Willie Nelson earlier and it reminded me of a joke. What's the worst thing Willie Nelson could say to you when you're having sex with him? The worst thing that Willie Nelson could say to you when you're having sex with him?
I don't know.
The answer? I'm not Willie Nelson. That would be upsetting.
I wonder how often that's happened.
Yeah.
Where somebody thought they were having sex with a celebrity and then realized, oh no, I was just so drunk, that's not that celebrity. And how do I get myself in that position of this fake celebrity?
For God's sake, Shaq is in Good Burger?
Yeah, plays himself.
How is it that we've missed so many opportunities to see that movie?
When did the first one come out?
1996, I'm going to guess. That's my guess.
Let's see.
Come on, 1996.
Ranger Gear Grinder Jesus said the Good Burger at Arby's is good.
97.
Oh, God. But that's pretty close,
That's
isn't
close.
it?
Pretty impressive, yeah.
That's one away.
That's a one year away.
You Googled it.
I did not. Come over here. I'm looking at women on the internet.
I kind of want to watch Good Burger again, but I'm wondering if it would be like Rad to Josh.
Well,
you have to be careful with that, yeah.
You're not allowed to watch it until Josh and I see it for the first time.
Okay.
All right. See, that'll keep you away from being disappointed, Wapple.
Deal.
Yeah.
And then what about Spinal Tap, too? Can't watch that until you guys do.
No, you can do whatever you want with Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Because we've watched Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Just come over here and have sex with Willie Nelson.
Yeah, trust me. I'm Willie Nelson.
There's Willie Nelson right there. Look, Willie Nelson. Have sex with him.
Whoa, and then Nick, you got ladies on your screen there.
You can't see his screen.
Guess what, Wapple?
You Googled that.
What's on Nick's screen?
Got bad news for you, Wapple. That's not Willie Nelson.
Oh.
Yep. All right, stupid news.
Sorry, real quick. One person has a bad review of the second one. Loved the original Good Burger. Tried watching the second, couldn't finish it.
It's a 715 area code, though. We can't trust them.
715, that's Wisconsin.
Yeah, that is.
They don't know anything. Disregard that last comment.
They probably just got Good Burger yesterday.
All right.
You're saying they just got the first one
got
yesterday?
the original.
Chicks just keep on being shady. They just keep on doing stuff. And it's only a matter of time before they do shady stuff to you. Our first crack at the stupid news here tells the tale of a young and innocent-looking gal in Texas. She's in deep trouble with the law after she went ahead and temporarily blinded a man with laundry detergent. She poured liquid laundry detergent
liquid
in his eyes.
Ooh, I think that would be really stingy.
And she did this simply because he refused to give her money when she asked him for it. Shady ass chicks.
I always assumed, first, people with dishwashers, I always assumed they were rich. You know, we didn't grow up with one. Mm-hmm. And then the people that had the liquid detergent, I thought they were even more rich, just than the powdered stuff for whatever reason. And boy, if you throw in a Tide Pod,
whoa!
Well, tell us about your place on Lake Minnetonka, right?
I've always used liquid detergent. I just swear it's better.
You're bougie.
Yeah, doesn't your girlfriend use powdered detergent
She does,
still?
yeah.
And I love that because the only other people I've heard that do that, Dana, are like people that are over the age of 70.
I was so confused the first time, like I was doing laundry at her place. I was like, "Well, where the hell's the detergent?" And she's like, "It's right." I'm like, "What is this?" This is like,
how do you know what his kind of detergent his girlfriend?
I was bitching about it one day because I thought it was weird.
Just send a picture
Ashley.
of me and Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley, you don't get yourself all fired up about this. You want to know why?
Why?
Dana doesn't really have a girlfriend.
He Googled one.
All right, this shady-ass chick here I was telling you about, she goes by the name of Kaylee Medina. She's 26, just a young kid. And she's acting like this because chicks are shady. A 61-year-old dude made a connection with Kaylee Medina on a dating app called Seeking, previously known as Seeking Arrangement. Has anyone set up a BJ with this gimmick?
No.
I don't know if you guys
Know of the
remember.
site.
It was maybe like a year or two ago. We were talking about that app, that dating site, and I signed up. To
I
see,
do
like,
remember
what
that.
it was all about. It wasn't as appealing as you can imagine. Yeah.
They say here that Seeking Arrangement, this is the words of a sheriff down in this part of Texas where this nightmare happened. His name is Javier Salazar. He told the local news that Seeking Arrangement, quote, appears to be one of these sugar daddy type sites where people with money meet up with younger people that need money and make some sort of an arrangement to date or what have you. What could ever go wrong with that type of a setup?
They'll never ask for more.
So the two of them, Medina, the 26-year-old gal, and this 61-year-old guy, they met up for dinner back on November 11th, and the encounter went well. No issues. Just a 61-year-old guy and a 26-year-old gal having dinner and sticking out like sore thumbs at the restaurant. But no issues. How many times you been out to eat and you've seen some old-timer and he comes in with some bombshell and you turn to your buddy and say, that's a hooker?
Yep.
Yep, that is so true every time.
Well, I want to remove that last statement you had, but there's been times where, like, I took my stepdaughter, her favorite restaurant is Fogo de, and I forget how you pronounce the last name. I always thought it was Chow, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's something else. Schoen, yeah.
Something weird.
And I did start to go, we're at this restaurant, and it's just me and her, and I was kind of, all of a sudden, I became very self-conscious.
Oh, no. So this older guy, he continued to chat with Miss Medina via text messages. But he had no plans to take her out again, according to the story. He had no plans to take her out again. Then on November 21st, she shows up at his house at 2:30 in the morning. Uh-oh. He admitted he allowed her to come inside and have a few drinkies.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I can guess what he was thinking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At one point, while they were jaw-jacking, Medina asked the guy for $2,000. When he told her he didn't have that kind of monies laying around, she came undone. And she just upped and started destroying the guy's house. She smashed the piss out of his television. She mangled some stupid painting, I guess, that was worth some money. She completely angle-slammed an entertainment center that he had in the house. Wow. Just, God, down onto the...
It's kind of impressive.
She lost her friggin' mind because the man said, no, I won't give you $2,000. Now, the dude had the balls to ask her to stop destroying his house. And that made this little online sugar mama even more mental. That he would dare try and interrupt her childlike pant wedding. So she grabbed some liquid laundry detergent and poured it in his eyes.
That's such a messy scene.
She hauled ass out of there. The man crawled outside his house screaming for help.
No.
The neighbors called the cops. Oh, sorry, I almost missed something. While the dude was blinded with Snuggle or Tide or whatever brand laundry detergent she had poured into his eye sockets, she took some time to steal some things. She took his iPhone. She took his passport for some reason. She took a security camera. She took his hairdryer.
Oh, that's mean.
He's got a golf outing, Josh, in a couple of days probably, and she took his hairdryer.
Gonna have flat hair.
He got to the hospital. He's all right now. But little did he know he hooked up with this psycho career scumbag when he clicked on her on this dating site. This is a gal who was arrested in the year 2020 and charged with shooting up a bar in San Antonio, Texas.
Whoa.
Okay.
This is a real...
How are you not in jail?
Yeah.
I mean, that's only 3 years ago. You like my math?
That was great. Quick.
Honestly, you shoot up a bar and you're out of jail 3 years later?
I don't know what happened, Cubby, but...
Weird.
Did they say how they found her?
How they found her?
Yeah.
I think she was just running down the sidewalk with unleashing a maniacal scream
She's
or
got
something.
some Cascade in her hand.
Yeah.
It always shocks me nowadays when people steal people's iPhones and stuff, because a lot of them have that Find My iPhone app.
They all have that Find My iPhone app.
So it's like, okay, we got you. Caught you red-handed.
Yeah.
And then also, I got another one. If you put laundry detergent in someone's eyes, how do you get that out? Because if you put water in your eye, then it's just going to suds up and it's going to hurt more.
That's a really good point, Waffle.
I think you got to add acid.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
Or maybe some fabric softener, even it out.
Or no, it's that rinse that some people use in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
You put that rinse in afterwards.
I'm not trying to throw the program completely off the rails here, but I've got some unbelievable news I just received via a text message on my personal phone.
What's up?
My personal phone. You know, earlier, Josh, we were talking about Good Burger and Good Burger Part 2 and Kenan Thompson, and we even mentioned Sinbad.
I remember all that, yeah.
I just got a text message from Terry Train, formerly of the KQ Morning Show.
I love Terry.
They don't still have a morning show, do they, KQ?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Well, I remember she left, and then that was it.
That was the end of the morning
It pretty
show.
much died.
Yep. I think KQ just fires up at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. now. They don't turn it on until... Terry Train just texted me and said she was at a wedding in Davenport, Iowa, and Sinbad was there.
Get out of here.
No way. In Iowa? What?
That'd be so crazy.
I'd lose my mind.
Is that really Sinbad?
What the hell is Sinbad doing here is what I would yell across the...
That's got to be a Sinbad look-alike.
The reception hall. I wouldn't be shy about it. I'd say, hey, what the hell's Sinbad doing here?
I'd love to meet Sinbad.
Nick, I want to let you know, Carmen Electra's in Good Burger 2 also.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Terry just texted and said she ran into Carmen Electra at a wedding reception in Omaha, Nebraska.
She's hanging out with all the celebrities. That show really did die after she left. Dental Babe Sheezus says, Wapple, you can use a signal blocker so you can't trace the phone. That's how hers got pickpocketed and stolen. They used a signal blocker.
Yeah, that's over my head.
That'd be frustrating.
Thanks for texting in and listening, Terry. We love you very much.
That's great. Yes, we do.
We love
One of
you.
our favorites of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetest person I've ever met. Fun fact? I'm sorry. Second sweetest person.
Second sweetest person
I've ever met.
Jeez, that was a close one.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I have no idea. My brain stopped working for a second. Can I tell you a fun fact?
Yes.
I've never once used a hairdryer. Never in my life. Towel dry, that's it. When I had hair. I mean, now I don't need one. I can just use a wet wipe or something.
You know, Josh, when I was a kid, I experimented a little bit with hair dryers.
Oh, you're a
curly
kid.
hair?
You're curious. I understand. It's natural. You don't feel guilty about it.
Not
or
at all.
anything.
Not
Okay,
at all.
good.
What was your question, Ashley?
With the curly hair, I imagine that would just make it kind of.
I was a little kid. I didn't know any better. I thought, well, you're supposed to blow a hairdryer on the...
That's what they do in the movies.
Yeah.
I do it every single time. I know it's probably really bad for my hair, but.
Yeah.
I felt like an idiot in a lot of the times, but in middle school, we had, the dryers way up high. And I was like, why would you do that? You can never really get your hands dry. That's very high up there.
Hang
and
on.
someone's like, it's a hairdryer, dude.
Yeah, I love those. They have them in the girls' locker room.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Oh, you must have had a pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I don't ever remember seeing a hairdryer at my middle school.
Yeah,
I never went to a school that had a pool.
A hairdryer at the middle school.
Because our high school didn't have enough for space to have the pool, so it was at the middle school. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it was like a hand dryer, but it was up high. And
Yeah, those never work good.
I was always wondering what that was for, and then I found out, and I felt like an idiot.
It's crazy.
Got in case the second sweetest person I've ever met, Terry Train, in case she's still listening, it's bigger when it's warm out, Jesus said, please pass along to Terry that she left, he stopped listening to KQ and started listening to, quote, us boners when she left. So thank you to It's Bigger When It's Warm Out, Jesus. He called us boners.
Yeah, he did. I think that guy calls us boners a lot.
He does. I love it. I love it.
I kind of want to run into that sumbitch somewheres in Davenport, Iowa, and straighten him out. All right, on to the stupid news. More stupid news, I should say. This would probably upset most of us, I think. In Beijing, China, a couple who had just moved into a new apartment found out after 6 months of living there, they moved in, been there for 6 months, they found out that the entire time they've been drinking toilet water. That's not right.
I've accidentally drank it. You ever had the spray back? Got right in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you flush it.
Oh, wow.
We've got and it happened here at work because we have those industrial flushers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I realized you got to just get out of the room before that thing
You kick
flushes.
it and run.
Yeah, those are insane. One time I had gum in my mouth, and it pulled the gum all the way through my digestive system. Just pulled it right out of me. That's how much power they're packing.
Toilet water splashed into your mouth.
Right in my mouth. Work toilet water. That means salespeople were using it. Ick.
Anyone ever drank the dog's water?
No.
Yeah.
Explain this. How did you end up drinking your dog's water?
When I was a kid, I was pretending to be a dog. That was actually a really weird night.
It was only one night where you pretended to be a dog?
I just specifically remember this one because it was outside with it's my old family dog, and he was in the garage, and I actually put a collar on, and I was trying to get him to think that I was a dog. I was trying to convince my dog this, and I stopped playing that game once he tried to mount me.
Oh.
I was like, all right, it's a little too realistic. He thinks I'm a dog.
I mean, you're a good dog
took a turn.
actress, though.
I did a good job.
Yeah.
You make a sexy dog, I guess.
That's a really interesting story, Ashley, from top to bottom. Buddy of mine who was on the run from local authorities, was kind of staying in hotels for a while with his dog. Him and his dog were both on the run. And he got wildly intoxicated one night at the motel bar. And he got back to his room, dog staying with him in the room. And he had a bowl of water for the dog that the dog had used multiple times. And this buddy of mine woke up in the middle of the night just so wildly hungover, you know what I mean, from drinking so much at the motel bar. And he couldn't physically get himself, say, to the bathroom to drink some water out the faucet. So he just grabbed the dog's water bowl and just poured it into his yap. He says that was about the low point of his drinking days. Drank. The dog's looking at him going, well, what am I supposed to drink?
Come on, man.
All right.
A bunch of people have texted in and said they, too, have accidentally drank toilet water. I did wonder, well, am I dead by the end of the day? How long can you survive after getting some drops?
In the same fashion that
same
you
fashion. Not you pretending to be a dog drinking out of the toilet. No, accidentally. Just some blowback.
So here's this couple in China. They live in this apartment for 6 months, and then the dude half of this couple, who prefers to be referred to only, I like this, he prefers to be referred to as Mr. Tan. I'd like to be referred to as Mr. Tan. But instead, I'm stuck with this pasty white look for life, Cubby.
Yeah, I think I could be called that sarcastically.
Mr. Tan and his unidentified girlfriend began experiencing health problems shortly after they moved into this joint in May. Both of them had an unexplained cough. Mr. Effin Tan also said that his hair was falling out in clumps and he had zits piling up on his face like he was back in Chinese junior high. Zits everywhere.
Gross.
Then he realized he hadn't paid a water bill in 6 months, but their apartment continued to receive water. So he got suspicious. He ran some tests with the water meter. He noticed something wasn't right. When he ran water in the apartment, the number on the meter didn't move. So he called the plumber, because plumbers rule. And the plumber told him that an extra pipe in the apartment linked up the toilet water and Mr. Tan's water pipes, his faucet water. You know what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
So he and his lady, for 6 months, had been using toilet water for their drinking water. They were bathing in it. They were cooking up meals with toilet waters. The plumber was able to fix the problem because, again, plumbers are effing cool. Mr. Tan is seeking some money for this nonsense. He wants a few bucks for his troubles. For God's sake, him and his woman both have a toilet water cough, for Christ's sake. I've never even heard of that.
Water cough.
He's more or less been drinking out of the toilet for 6 months. At least, like we were talking about dogs, at least dogs volunteer for that. Mr. Tan didn't know jack squat.
I wonder, if you just put a cup underneath where the tank fills at your toilet, how bad is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was bad enough to get Mr. Tan coughing and his hair falls out and he's got pimples all over himself again as a grown person.
Pimples? That's just so odd.
Yeah. Big boilers.
Yeah.
I only got time for one more, Josh. Where would you like to go with this? I've got much to choose from.
How about... Well, you know what? Let's do the restaurant simply because that's kind of going to be it's already kind of an old story.
Okay. The restaurant. Yes, all right. And the rest of these you'll probably hear tomorrow. How about reason to throw your breakfast into the trash?
We're good at doing that for people.
That's true. I do enjoy getting those texts.
I love it. It's the Half-Ass Morning Show diet plan. I'll tell you more.
We're the breakfast ruiners.
In New York, a customer at a fast food joint called Chopped, C-H-O-P-T. Do we have those in town?
I don't believe
If we do, I am not familiar.
A customer at a fast food joint called Chopped has filed a lawsuit. She says she ordered a salad and there was a piece of a human finger in her salad. She filed this lawsuit. By damn, her name is Allison Kazi, from Greenwich, Connecticut. Again, the home of Pete Gass, Joey Abs, and Rodney, the infamous Mean Street Posse. Allison Kazi of Greenwich, Connecticut alleges that she bought a salad at this Chopped location. This was in New York. She realized while eating it, she was chewing on a portion of a human finger.
I've eaten around a lot of stuff. I ate around a Band-Aid once. I pulled that out. I can't, a finger, that's probably where I draw the line.
Yeah, most definitely. Not other human flesh.
Chewing on a finger that had been mixed into and made part of the salad.
It looks like Chopped are on the East Coast. It's an East Coast thing.
Now, according to this lawsuit, the manager at the restaurant accidentally severed a piece of her left pointer finger while chopping up salad ingredients. And it ended up in this gal's meal.
She didn't look for it?
Well, it's a salad. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
I don't look at every bite, do you?
No,
I'm sorry, you mean the manager?
Yeah, I'm talking about the person that made the salad.
I'm
yeah,
guessing,
you think you'd be like, oh, where'd my fingertip go?
I don't know. They probably looked like crazy. I don't know. The manager went
veggies forever, and she doesn't want to toss them out.
She's just about to be done. Yeah.
Wapple, you probably have stories like this, but it's strange, this whole thing, that it happened, because I remember if anybody was injured and blood, they drew blood, they cleaned out. Everything was gone. Anything they were around, thrown out.
Everything goes.
Yeah, everything was cleaned.
Yeah, our prep table was huge in the back area, and anything from like one end that was on one end of the prep table, if you cut yourself on the other end, everything had to be thrown out.
Yeah, pretty much the whole room would be scrubbed down, everything thrown away.
Better to be safe than sorry.
And I'd imagine that's part of the problem here.
As you can imagine, this lady is seeking some money for her troubles, chewing on a severed human finger at the fast food joint. Horrible. That would be tough to ever come back from. I would be suspicious. I probably would never eat a salad again. And I do like eating salads, like I noted a couple days ago. That would be very tough. The paranoia would be overwhelming.
Yeah, every time you took a bite in something that just like felt different in your teeth.
Oh.
You'd be like, oh, it's a finger again.
Josh knows this story about a gal friend of mine that went to a local sandwich shop. And she says, I'll take the big sandwich. And the guy said, okay, the big sandwich. And as he's cutting the bread, he completely fillets the palm of his hand. But her theory is the man's hands were so cold from working with cold cuts and this and that. He didn't feel it.
It could be that the knife was so sharp too. That was in my case where I had to go to the emergency room. It was so bad. Mm-hmm. It never hurt. I kept holding it, waiting for the pain to kick in. But the knife had just been sharpened, so it didn't hurt.
I'll go along with that too. That's a brilliant theory. So the guy completely fillets the palm of his hand, doesn't feel it, and continues to make her sandwich. And he's pulsating blood onto the. And so she just figured, well, I'm going to go along with it and see how far I can go with this. So she says, I'll take pickles. And he says, okay, a little more lettuce. He puts the lettuce in. How about some jalapenos? He says, jalapenos, sure. He throws, and she says, put some plasma on there. And he says, what? And she says, sir, you look at your hand. And he didn't even know. He had bled all over. I love that line. Put some plasma. And
that's clever.
I think she said he actually reached. He's like, what are you talking?
Short but fat Cheese said she accidentally ate tinfoil one time. I've definitely eaten a lot of tinfoil being too aggressive on a burrito.
Sure. I got a tinfoil between my teeth right now from last night. It's not a big deal.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On the highway, all of a sudden I get a notification, tire issue. So I'm like, all right, cool. I think it's a situation where I could put some air, make it to the gas station. Wasn't working. So as I'm sitting there, I look to my right. I see a family. They're in Cardinals gear. It looks like they're going to the stadium. So I'm like, I have absolutely nothing to lose. Pull my window down. I just yell out, you guys going to the stadium? He looks at me a little crazy. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a player. I got a flat tire. Can you guys help me out? I need a ride to the stadium. Walks back to the car, talks to his wife. He's like, heck yeah, come on. They got me there on time. Had a blast talking to his kids the whole way there. And, I made it there on time, and, that's all she wrote.
That's a member of the Arizona Cardinals football team by the name of Jesse Luketa, no relation to Tesla's drummer Troy Luketa. He's on his way to play football for the Cardinals on Sunday. He's driving himself to the game. Tire goes bad on his motor vehicle. He's screwed. He's at a gas station. He can't get the friggin' tire filled up. Something went sideways. Runs into a family all wearing their dorky Arizona Cardinals gear. It's obvious they're going to the game. He hitches a ride with them.
And it was really his only option to get there on time. He would have been in big trouble, I guess, if he missed the curfew's the wrong word, but the deadline when he had to get there at noon. So he's saying he thought about calling AAA or calling a ride share, but he would have been tardy and gotten in some trouble.
It's a nice story. So he jumps in the back seat,
awesome.
But 3-4 kids in the back seat and this monstrous NFL player.
Yeah.
They gave him a ride to the, and he's rewarding the family for their what's the word I'm looking for, Josh?
Their
good
generosity.
Yes, generosity. The youngest kid was 9. Not Troy Lucchetta, but Jesse Lucchetta is going to let that kid coach the Cardinals this Sunday against I'm kidding. He got him some tickets to the next ball game.
Can you imagine being a kid? You're going to watch your favorite team, and then one of the players happens to ride with you to the stadium.
So cool.
That's what an awesome story.
I'll tell you what, that'd be something. Here's the deal. We got to get out the way, but I'll just give you a rundown of what's going on tonight with our local clubs. And it's wall-to-wall parties, really, when you think about it. Golden Gophers play at home tonight against New Orleans. New Orleans, big party town, right?
Yeah.
The Pigs are in Nashville. Everyone wants to go to Nashville now.
Yes, they do.
That's all anybody talks about.
it's
Got to
a
go
hot
to
spot.
Nashville. I'm tired of it. Everyone needs to shut up about it. But everyone they say it's the ultimate party. It's
People
replaced.
love it.
And then the Wolves are going to have the biggest party. They're playing against Utah tonight. And no one parties like the folks. Randy Shaver will be here in a half hour. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ray Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was just doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
What am I doing
space.
wrong? What do you want me to do?
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
We had no idea what was going on in her personal life. She was always very friendly and personable.
We can do better, and we must do better. So I believe that parents need to know.
A Texas teacher was fired from her job as a sex education teacher.
Wait a minute.
After being exposed as a convicted prostitute and working as an escort. 38-year-old Ashley Ketcherside, whose maiden name is Ashley Villalobos, was fired after her convictions of prostitution in 2012 and 2016 were brought to light. Aside from her work as a prostitute, she allegedly continued to work as an escort during her time as a sex educator in Godley, Texas. She'd advertised herself as the true girl next door, Lola Brea. Parents discovered the teacher's sex work with a simple Google search of her email address. They had become suspicious of businesses she claimed to own but couldn't provide information about.
Some parents took it to investigate and came up with this.
I Googled her email address, and that's how I was able to find the escort services.
Some of the dads were very thorough in their searches.
I bet.
Parents discovered her several escort profiles and noted her to be an expensive and well-reviewed escort, who warned that no-show clients could face a penalty of $3,000.
Is that right?
Wow. The Godley School District confirmed it had removed Ketcherside from her job as a sexual education teacher with the district. Despite the public criticism, by all accounts, she's a great person. She's heavily involved in being a parent. She led a local cheerleading group, had volunteered on several district panels, which included the Family and Community Engagement Committee, the Godley Athletic Booster Club, and Parent-Teacher Organization.
And she's also qualified.
To teach that?
Yeah.
Yes, very qualified to teach sex ed, yes. She has since been fired from all her roles and apparently will not be able to be a teacher again.
What a gig.
Yeah.
What a life.
She was making bank as an escort.
I bet.
I feel terrible about this.
You know, and
if I had a school, I would hire her.
And only her. And maybe some of her friends.
Yes. Yes, my friends.
Here's a teacher who could use a lesson in self-control, as he now finds himself in some serious trouble after being arrested 3 times within only a week amid an allegation of alleged strings of violent crimes in Palm Beach County, Florida. He was arrested thrice between November 19th and 26th for charges including carrying a concealed weapon, aggravated assault, drug possession, and written threats to kill.
Oh.
In one of the incidents, police were called to O'Shea's Irish Pub in West Palm Beach in response to an assault case. When they arrived, they found the 43-year-old teacher being held down in the middle of the street by several bar patrons. Witnesses said he was acting shady and strange as he, quote, bothered people at the bar and even tried to follow a woman home. At one point during an altercation, he pulled out a 12-inch retractable baton from his back pocket and waved it in a threatening way. 2 days later, he was arrested for harassing a woman he met online and making threats toward her. When she told him she didn't want to date him, he texted the woman saying she should be careful on how she talks to him.
Oh!
And she's a dead woman walking. He said he would meet with gang members to acquire flashbang grenades.
This guy's got a lot of stories, doesn't he?
He also said that she'd be dead by morning if one more of his calls were sent to voicemail.
Uh-oh.
According to the woman's building manager, he had also stopped by her apartment looking for her, police said. The teacher was arrested and charged with written threats to kill or do bodily injury and for harassing phone calls.
What a friggin' mental case we're talking here.
Yeah, that's quite the psycho.
Here's the deal. I bet if he had shown up at her place and she was there, I bet she could have easily kicked his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He did look kind of tough, but possibly. He does sound like very fragile. An Ohio lawyer had his license suspended for a year after he admitted to throwing a loaded Pringles can into the parking lot of an emergency shelter for survivors of domestic violence. And that Pringles can was loaded with feces.
It's the worst.
His own. The Ohio Supreme Court found there was clear evidence to charge Jack Blakesley, a lawyer for over 40 years, with professional misconduct after throwing a feces-filled Pringles potato chip can in the Haven of Hope Center parking lot in Cambridge. The court ruled there was reason to believe that on the morning of November 30th, 2021, he targeted the center, which was scheduled to appear in court opposite his client for a capital murder trial that day. The court said video from a surveillance camera at Haven of Hope showed him driving down an alley and slowing his vehicle as he passed their parking lot. He continued driving, passing several other parking lots, but turned around. He passed Haven of Hope's parking lot a second time, threw the Pringles can into the lot, and then drove to the courthouse for the 8:30 a.m. trial. Blakesley, who explained during a deposition that he threw the feces-filled cans to, quote, blow off steam, denied having any knowledge that was Haven of Hope's location. Mm-hmm. He maintained he wasn't targeting anyone, but rather he said he had a habit of placing his waste in Pringles cans and randomly just throwing them from his car.
Strange habit.
Yeah, it is.
He said his misconduct was a prank and admitted it was stupid.
Oh, the old poop pipe bomb.
I have way too much respect for Pringles to do anything like that, even if I was blowing off steam. You know what I'm saying, Cubby?
Yeah, that is a great chip.
Yeah,
that is a great chip.
They do great work over there.
A Texas attorney's been accused of using work-related visits to smuggle in legal paperwork laced with ecstasy and synthetic marijuana to inmates over the past several months. 77-year-old Ronald Lewis was arrested earlier this month after arriving at the Harris County Jail in Houston to visit an inmate. During his arrest, Lewis had 11 sheets of paper believed to be laced with narcotics.
Carrying multiple sheets of paper contaminated with a substance that is now being tested to confirm whether it's indeed an illegal narcotic.
Turns out it was. Authorities allege from July until this month, he visited 14 inmates at the jail, provided them with sheets of drug-laced papers disguised as mail or other legal documents.
Inmates will pay the attorney $250 to $500 to bring in the laced paper. On numerous occasions, the inmates being visited by Mr. Lewis were found to have sheets of paper laced with narcotics.
Lewis's arrest came after a months-long investigation by the jail-based Criminal Investigations and Security Division, a new unit created earlier this year to probe an increase in drug overdoses at the largest county jail in Texas.
Here he was loading them up all full of this and that, huh?
77, yeah. A Florida woman learned an important life lesson the hard way. Do not call police to report someone stole your drugs. especially if you have warrants. Cops were dispatched around 2 a.m. November 16th to a Best Western in reference to a theft. Upon arriving at the hotel, an officer spoke with a 23-year-old named Lily, who said a male friend she met last week stole her marijuana. She explained she had $30 worth of pot in her grinder. But after a man she referred to as Carlos departed the room, she noticed half a gram was missing from her stash.
That's not cool.
She stated she didn't know what to do, so she decided to call police. Bad idea. Didn't take long for the Stewart Police Department to determine she had a pair of open arrest warrants. Now, so that amount of pot, a half a gram, it doesn't sound like a lot when all of everything she had was $30.
It's not at all. It's definitely not worth calling about in any capacity.
Just chalk it up as a loss.
Yep.
The 23-year-old was arrested last year for allegedly striking her dad in the face during an argument.
Oh, my God.
She told cops she became upset upon learning that he posted a photo of her online holding a vape, noting she's a college athlete and couldn't be seen holding a vape. Prosecutors said she played golf for the University of Cincinnati and Eastern Florida State.
She plays golf for two different colleges at the same time?
Not at the same time.
Oh.
She did play golf for both. A 26-year-old Massachusetts man is accused of shooting his dad Monday night following a fight about a power washer.
It appears to be something that was just absolutely so unnecessary. Over nothing.
Tragedy, obviously. It took me back a little bit. I'm sorry for what happened. I feel bad for the family.
Prosecutors said Robert Gomes III told police when he returned home Monday afternoon he found his father in his room. He said he went to his room and put marijuana, a bong, and a gun he purchased online into a bag. He then asked his dad to open the shed so he could take a picture of a power washer for a friend. Gomes III stated when his 61-year-old father, Robert Gomes Jr., began to go out to the shed, he got visibly angry, clenching his fists and teeth, and then turned around, pointed a finger at his son, and said, "I'm going to kill you."
Oh, no.
Gomes told police he got his gun out of the bag, pointed it at his father, and shot him. The district attorney said the shooting was committed seemingly over nothing. He called the shooting a senseless, brazen act that never had to happen.
Didn't have to happen.
Yeah. Kind of weird he asked his dad to open the shed. Maybe dad was possessive of the key.
Sure.
An Indiana man's accused of lashing out at two women, going as far as to attack one of them during holiday festivities. 74-year-old William Shields had been drinking all day and threatening the women until it culminated into an argument over Thanksgiving dinner.
What have you been doing all day? Drinking? Threatening women?
Investigators said they arrived to find two women on the front porch, one of them having difficulty breathing. Police say Shields had allegedly been arguing with one of the two women about Thanksgiving dinner. And as the other woman was trying to put her plate in the sink, Shields stopped her from doing so and got up in her face, began yelling, authorities said. Then he started to strangle her.
Oh.
According to police, the victim had been staying at the residence to care for the ailing other woman. Once patrol went inside, police went inside, Shields was found laying on the ground drinking a glass of water. Investigators said he was extremely intoxicated.
Water, I need water.
An Ohio woman found guilty of throwing her Chipotle order at an employee was sentenced to jail, but she was also given the chance to work off part of her sentence by working at a fast food restaurant. You didn't get your burrito bowl the way you like it, and this is how you respond, the judge said during sentencing Tuesday. 39-year-old Rosemary Hain had told the court and the victim she was sorry for her actions and there was no excuse for her behavior. However, she then went on to say she wasn't happy with the way her food was prepared, so she couldn't let it go. Video played during the hearing showed Hain bringing her Chipotle bowl to the counter and slamming it down, confronting the worker. Seconds later, she's seen throwing the entire bowl in the worker's face. The judge sentenced her to 180 days in jail and suspended 90 of those days, but he said that he'd give her 60-day jail credit if she worked at least 20 hours per week at a fast food restaurant for 2 months.
You didn't get your burrito bowl the way you like, and this is how you respond. You went in there looking for a fight. I'll bet you're not going to be happy with the food you're about to get in the jail. Do you want to walk in her shoes for 2 months and learn how people should treat people, or do you want to do your jail time?
The judge said he was appalled at the defendant's actions and wanted to come up with a sentence that would hopefully teach her a lesson. He explained his thoughts behind the creative sentencing.
Why should the city taxpayers pay for her and feed her for 90 days in jail if I can teach her a sense of empathy?
I also hope this deters others from this type of behavior, he said. As for the victim, she was satisfied with the judge's ruling.
She's going to get what she deserves. She didn't get a slap on her wrist, so she's going to learn how to work in fast food, and hopefully it'll be good.
and said she does plan to get a job at a fast food restaurant.
She's going to do it, huh?
She is going to do it.
Yeah, I'd choose that over jail any day as well.
A search is underway for an opportunistic donut thief who tore away from a service station early yesterday morning in a Krispy Kreme van near Sydney, Australia, with 10,000 donuts in it. The vehicle was on its way to Newcastle to make a variety of deliveries, including Christmas-themed and classic donuts. Police said the van was, quote, regrettably not sprinkled with tracking devices. They also said if you've got any sweet leads or crispy CCTV footage, do not keep it to yourself. Krispy Kreme issued an apology to people affected and expressed gratitude to police for their swift response. In fact, they're giving all emergency workers a 50% discount.
How many donuts did he have with him?
10,000. 10,000. It was a woman that stole it.
250,000.
Big ones. As for another donut story, that's just plain glazy. A UK food truck owner unveiled one of the world's most calorific burgers with a bun made of 8 Krispy Kreme donuts. In addition to the donuts, it features 3 beef patties, 6 slices of cheese slathered in melted butter. All told, the burger reportedly houses 3,180 calories. However, it's far from the highest calorie sandwich in existence. That honor goes to the Octuple Bypass Burger at the aptly named Heart Attack Grill in Arizona. The 6-pound Mount Everest of meat clocks in at a whopping 20,000 calories and features 8.5 beef patties, 40 slices of bacon, 16 slices of cheese, a whole onion, 2 tomatoes, and a chili, plus the 2 buns. In 2021, competitive eater Matt Stoney shattered the record for eating it, annihilating the massive burger in only 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
What?
That's how they do it in the competitive eating world,
You're
Dana.
not even breathing at that point.
Yeah, man, that's insane.
I'm a big eater, but I wonder if I could get through that in a few hours.
6-pound burger, man, that's a lot of food.
A group of would-be carjackers were forced to flee without the Porsche they were trying to carjack once they discovered it was a manual transmission and they didn't know how to drive stick. Cops always say that's the best defense to getting carjacked or having your car stolen.
Seems like no one can figure out manual anymore.
The car's owner was outside a Bethesda, Maryland business late Sunday when the group approached and demanded his keys before pistol whipping him. They didn't need to do that. The man ran back into the business while the suspects tried to take off in his SUV, but after they saw the stick shift, they ended up escaping the scene in another vehicle. It's believed the victim may have been followed to Bethesda from Washington, D.C., where he was earlier dropping off supplies at another business. Montgomery County Police said they're also aware of reports that a vehicle like the one the thieves sped off in was reported stolen earlier that day in D.C., so they think it was the same one. A similar incident took place in nearby Arlington, Virginia in September, as well as in Germantown, Maryland in March. According to a recent study, just 18% of Americans can reportedly drive a manual transmission.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I guess there was video of it, and they were pretty frustrated, these guys. Just couldn't figure out how to do it. Coming up a week from tomorrow, Friday, December 8th, the 20th something annual Toys for Tatas charity toy drive.
It's 20-something, isn't it, Josh?
It's up there. A lot of the girls you'll see next Friday weren't even alive the first couple years we did it.
No.
Downtown Minneapolis, of course. Bring an unwrapped new toy, get free cover, indulge in Rick's complimentary buffet, enjoy all the eye candy you can handle for dessert. It's for the kids. All toys will be donated to local charities. Doors open at 6, buffet from 6 a.m. to 2, cash bar at 8 a.m. And if you haven't picked up a toy yet, just a reminder, there's always a special need for toys for older kids and teens. Looking forward to seeing all those that can make it and certainly appreciate those that have been there in years past. Always a great event, always raises a ton of toys. Today on Max, the series premiere of Bookie. Comedian Sebastian Maniscalco plays a Los Angeles bookie who feels his business threatened by potential legalization of gambling in California. A couple new things come to Netflix today, including the new series Obliterated. A special forces team in Vegas celebrates after saving the city, but they do it too soon when they realize the bomb they deactivated was fake, and they have until morning to drunkenly find the real one. Also on Netflix, Family Switch, a holiday body-swapping comedy where Jennifer Garner and Ed Helms switch bodies with their 2 kids after they all wish to trade places with each other right before a stranger takes their photo. Finally on Prime tonight, the Cowboys host the Seahawks for Thursday Night Football.
Wait a minute.
We were just talking about this guy earlier today, Ben Stiller, 58. Heisman Trophy winner, the first man selected for both the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the NFL Pro Bowl. Bo Jackson, 61. I had one of those posters growing up. Did you have one of those, Nick?
No, I never had the Bo Nose poster, but I was certainly a fan. How could you not have been? He was such a blast to watch play ball.
Billy Idol, 68.
Oh, I like him now.
Me too. And the older I get, the more. Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. Mandy Patinkin, 71. We send our condolences to B.D. Jesus. He told us his dad, Craig, passed away about a week ago. He said the service is today, and he's going to be making the hardest speech of his life. So obviously we'll all be thinking about you today, and our best to both you and your family. Sloppy Jesus checked in while having a beer on the second floor of the Eiffel Tower.
Whoa. What? Cool.
A move where Dana's mom has been on the business end of several times.
No.
Brutal.
I'm spitting facts.
Yeah.
The truth cannot be controversial.
God, help us. The Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower. Boiler operator Jesus texted in to let us know today is his wife's birthday. Apparently, she doesn't get the D till later tonight, he said. So happy birthday to boiler operator Jesus' wife, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
24/7, he's nude in his unit, but for 10 to 15 minutes a day, he will go near the windows and he will expose himself and touch himself.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
When we go in there, the fans, the people tailgating, they're talking so much crap. Probably about 10 white asses sitting over there over the hill. They got all their pants down. It's nothing but white moons, just all lined up. Man, I scored that game winner touchdown, Tommy Kramer. My mindset was like, dude, I'm not going to pull my pants down. I'm just going, fake moon them. Yeah. I was thinking it was all in fun, with the game. Boy, they'd have hit me for that $30,000, $40,000.
Randy Moss is in for a touchdown.
As he shoots the moon to the fans here in Green Bay.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss. And it's unfortunate that we had that on our air live. That is disgusting by Randy Moss.
I hear the Randy Moss thing, and it's kind of a cloud that follows me around when I'm up here. And I know people think about it, and I get it. I hear that back, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a jolt because I'm like, man, I can't believe that that's what came out of my mouth. But I have to live with that. But it feels a little over the top. It's just how you react in the moment. If it were today, I think in a different atmosphere, I don't think those words would have come out of my mouth.
Randy Shaver, you on the telephone?
I am. Good morning.
Good early morning to you, calling in at 5:40 in the morning from Tucson, Arizona. I keep forgetting where you're at.
Yeah, boy. You have a tough time remembering things.
I do certain things. Yeah, I remember that you are Randy Shaver.
Well, that's a start.
It is California.
Palm Springs, baby.
How is it there? How was your day yesterday?
Day was great. 72 degrees and just gorgeous weather, and walk around in shorts weather. It was perfect.
If folks don't know, Randy's celebrating his wedding anniversary with his wife and a couple other ladies.
That she doesn't know about.
Yeah. Took a trip to somewheres in California for your wedding anniversary. 72 degrees. That doesn't sound so bad.
We were at a place called the Purple Room last night, which is a very famous supper club in Palm Springs, where the Rat Pack used to hang out.
That's cool.
And actually, the story goes it's where the Rat Pack was discovered together for the first time.
Okay. Now, for younger people...
Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr.
There's one other we're forgetting that always gets left out of the original. He was a singer.
I want to say Lawler, but I don't think that's
Peter
right.
Lawford?
Peter Lawford. For younger people was this like the early 60s, I think, Randy Shaver?
Yep, you're right, 1960.
This talented group of people, hip, good-looking, big-time entertainers. They got the label of the The Rat Pack. And okay, that's
So the story goes that Sinatra was singing on stage at the Purple Room, and then Sammy Davis and Dean Martin all joined with him for the first time ever, and the head of RCA Records happened to be having dinner in the Purple Room at the time when all three of them jumped on stage together, and that was how they got the deal at the Sands in Las Vegas to come together. And that's how the story goes.
It's very historic stuff right there. That must have been a cool vibe in that room when you and the wife
It was
sat.
it was a lot of fun. And we were there last night when it was the same kind of music as they played back in the 60s. So
speaking of all this old-timey stuff, and you know Randy Shaver are good for old-timey conversations. Over Christmas, no, we didn't have Christmas. What was the holiday we just had?
Thanksgiving.
Over Thanksgiving, did anyone else notice this on their television? I've got cable television. I don't know if the rest of you are involved.
Yeah, I do. I've got cable, so la-di-da-di.
Well.
One of these turn back the clock channels, I believe it's called Decades. You've heard me talk about Decades before because I like to watch old episodes of Cheers on on Thanksgiving Day. For 24 hours straight, they rolled nothing but Dean Martin celebrity roasts.
Oh, fun.
From the 70s and even into the early 80s. And I recorded a bunch of them. I don't know if I'll ever have the time to watch them, but it was, you know, again, if you're a younger person, who does the roasts now? Is it Comedy Central?
They stopped doing them for a while. They haven't done one in a few years. But yeah, they did bring it back there in the 2000s.
They brought it back and they roasted Gene Simmons, and I can't think. So if you're a younger person, I think you know what I'm talking about. But back in the day, Dean Martin would always host these celebrity roasts, and some of the characters that I saw, I mean, Don Rickles and Ted Knight and Jimmy Stewart, and I'm trying to think. I'm racking my brain. Red Fox, and it's I cannot wait to, if I ever get around to watching. It even went into the early 80s, Josh, and one of the episodes of this Dean Martin Celebrity Roast, they roast Mr. T.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I have to...
I love Mr. T.
Yes, I have to watch these and get back to you, but because I'm missing some big names here. But it's just great stuff. Oh, who was the great celebrity impersonator? Jonathan... no, not Jonathan. Rich Little.
Rich Little.
Rich Little. Anyway. Yeah. I love watching that old stuff. And, you know, it's interesting. There isn't one, Lucille Ball, there isn't one person on that, do they call it the dais? The dais, the cast of characters who's roasting the special guest. There's not one of them who is not smoking an entire pack of cigarettes while the roast is happening.
I love that.
The room is just clouded with smoke.
When you record that stuff, Nick, when you're a show you want to watch, Roastmaster Jesus has a question on how you do it. He pictures you just setting up a video camera pointed at the TV.
He's not friggin' far off.
They're changing VHS tapes every hour.
I mean, the guy's not far off. Hell, you should have seen me. Last night, I ducked in for a couple beers at the Wayzata American Legion. I know you're probably shocked to hear that I was hanging out at the Wayzata American. And I took a picture of something with my cell phone, which, number one, that took me a while to figure. Someone said, okay, there was something at the bar that I needed to take a picture of. And someone said, well, you should take a picture. And I said, okay, well, how do I do that? So they showed me how to find the camera on my cell phone. And then they said, well, you should send that to Donnie. And then I had to say, okay, who wants to show me how to do that?
Did you put your phone like in the mailbox and mail it to Donnie so he could take a look at it?
Had people not been watching over me, I probably would have. The opening audio there that Josh played for you, you heard Joe Buck, my God, still to this day talking about the Randy Ma mooning episode at Lambeau Field. You want to talk about a bit that needed to go away a long time ago. Can we please move beyond Randy Moss with the fake?
Yeah.
But anyway.
But at least he's admitting now that he was probably a little too harsh at the time, which I think a lot of people agree with. So.
Yes, so he went on a podcast recently, and he admitted that he doesn't regret it exactly, but he says today, if it happened today, he would do it differently. So my question is, will hard-on Vikings fans finally let go of their piss and vinegar directed towards Joe Buck? Because
probably not.
What's funny is while Josh was playing the audio, while Joe Buck is explaining, hey, I probably overdid it, I got a text message right away that said, F Joe Buck. Folks will just never forgive him. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but I do think some people will go, okay, he said he wouldn't do it today.
Yeah.
We'll let it go.
Yeah.
I hope. 72-year-old Tool fan Jesus, he's a 715er and a Packer fan. He said he thought that mooning was absolutely hilarious. It was funny.
Yeah, it was.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. I guess I thought it was kind of stupid. I did.
Well, when you understand the context a little bit about how Moss decided to do it because of Packer fans doing it to those. And I've seen a few of those on team buses back in my day, so
I thought it was stupid, but I didn't like Randy Moss at all during that time period. I just
really?
thought, he was acting like this is when we heard all the rumors of him just being a pushy prick with all the
like the caterer story.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
You're
right.
I loved him in his rookie season. How could you not have loved him in his rookie season? But then
we interviewed him and he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that was 2000, 2001 when he did the mooning, and by that there were all these stories about what a dildo he was behind the scenes.
That is true.
And he's even admitted, I was a dildo, a purple dildo, I guess some would say. Hey, real quick, Randy, is your wife going to go golfing with you? And you love to golf. Will she go golfing with you on your anniversary party?
Oh no. No. I'm not golfing. I'd like to, but I didn't bring my clubs.
Oh, I thought you would.
How long are you out there for again? The whole week?
Oh, we come back tomorrow night.
Oh. I thought you'd go golfing.
People were wondering if you
for sure.
How many?
Plenty of great places to golf. That's for sure.
I would think so. We got a lot of texts wondering how many dispensaries you and Roseanne have hit at this point.
we how about this? We passed a few, both walking and driving. And the walking ones, you get enough of a taste, I guess, or a feel of what it's like. That's right. Yeah.
Did you think of me?
Waffle would like that.
Wapple, I think of you every minute of every day.
Get over yourself. You're not the only one that smokes grass.
It's funny, going back to the cable TV conversation, I don't know if you've been checking text, Nick, but we're getting a bunch saying, here's one from Eastbound at Sundown Jesus, saying, I've got cable TV is another way of saying, hi, I'm over 50.
Well,
You know what? I don't care. I like my cable TV. It's worth every penny to me, and I'm sure Nick feels the same way. It's like a security blanket. I like my cable TV.
Yes. Is it true that there's only about 4 channels that I'm aware of? Yeah. God help us.
But you know what? It's like having a professional sports team in your town. I don't necessarily have to go to the game all the time, but I like the fact that it's there, and when I want to go there, I can.
Yeah, right. You're
Cable
exactly right.
Cable TV's the same thing. I don't use all the channels, but I like the fact it's there, and I can use it when I want.
Sure. I can't argue with you. Real quick, I just looked this up on the internet. Back to this Dean Martin these various episodes of Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast that I was recording while we were on vacation. Some of the other characters that were involved: Dom DeLuise.
Oh, great!
Nipsey
Burt
Russell.
Reynolds.
I did not see Burt Reynolds. Howard Cosell.
Nice. Oh boy, yeah.
Bob Newhart. I mean, my God, these are some of the greatest people that have ever effing lived.
Yeah.
God dang, I'm just scrolling through some of these others. Anyway, here's the deal. The Pigs are in Nashville tonight, and it'll be televised too. 7 o'clock on BSN. Bally Sports North Plus is what they call it. See if they can keep this going with the new bald guy. behind the bench.
Let's hope so.
Okay,
The
so
Nashville Predators.
You've set yourself up. I want to hear the story from yesterday.
You see, here's the thing, Randy, is it's a fun story. If you were listening yesterday, we had Marcus Foligno on from the Wild. You know, his brother plays for the Blackhawks, Chicago Blackhawks. And even if his brother didn't play for the Chicago Blackhawks, I asked him, are you comfortable talking about this Chicago Blackhawks story? Even if his brother didn't play for that club, you don't, when you're a player, you probably don't want to get involved in some of these scandalous stories.
Yeah.
He said, no, don't. He asked us to do him a favor and not bring it up while he's on the air. So we waited a day. Since then, this story has pretty much been proven to be absolute garbage. But it's a hell of a lot of fun to talk about. The story, Randy Shaver, is a veteran player by the name of Corey Perry. I didn't even realize he was on the Blackhawks roster.
He used to play for Anaheim, right?
Yeah, he had when he and Ryan Getzlaf had a great thing going. Getzlaf has since retired, but Corey Perry still hanging on, and he was playing for the Blackhawks here up until a few days ago, and then he was let go. It was, I guess, in most people's eyes, it was kind of abrupt. And, okay, you're aware of the new rookie sensation for the Blackhawks, Connor Bedard.
Right.
So the rumors started to go around that the reason that Corey Perry was ousted from the Blackhawks was because he had something happening with Connor Bedard's mama.
Wow.
That was the rumor.
Oh, come on.
I have a bunch of friends on Twitter that are big Blackhawks fans and big hockey fans, and they've been talking about this nonstop for a week.
Yeah.
It's so fun and interesting.
Speculation was that Corey Perry was involved in a personal, is how you say it, relationship with Bedard's mom, Melanie.
Is this after the kid joined the team or before, or what's the context?
Yeah, I mean, I think the rumor was that, okay, Bedard comes to town this season. His folks show up at a couple of events, right? His folks show up to a couple of games, and sparks flew between Corey Perry and Melanie Bedard. It's more, like I said, more or less the story's been completely thrown into the garbage and proven. I don't know about proven.
Where is Mr. Bedard in all this?
You know what? No one mentioned Mr. Bedard.
I haven't seen anything on Mr. Bedard.
Maybe she's a single mother. So it's been more or less, I can't say the word proven, but it's been more or less disregarded as just a stupid internet rumor. And just when you think the dust has settled, then I get a text message from a listener this morning, and he says, no, the Corey Perry, Connor Bedard mama, that's not true. What really happened was this is the next wild rumor now on this ridiculous, like it's that insane to tell a near 40-year-old hockey player to go home, we don't need you anymore, right? The latest rumor is that there's a certain announcer, a female announcer, that works for the Blackhawks, whose father used to play for the Blackhawks, and that's who Corey Perry is involved in a physical relationship with. That's why he was thrown off the team.
With the father or the girl?
With the girl.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
That took me a second.
I don't even want to say the guy's name, but it's a very notable former Blackhawk. His daughter works in television for the Blackhawks, and now people are saying Corey Perry got involved with that former player's daughter.
Well, I don't know what happened, but the team has said it was something happened with a staff member. So the team came out and said it is an internal issue.
Right.
There was something inappropriate with the staff member.
Right. What I heard was that it was just some kind of rude.
Well, who's the former player? Who's the former Blackhawk?
Should I say it? I mean, it's a rumor.
Yeah, you're telling everyone it's a rumor.
It's a rumor. The dude texted and said Chris Chelios' daughter works for the Blackhawks. That's the latest rumor. What I heard, Josh, is it was just simply Corey Perry was very disrespectful with a member of the training staff or something like that. So it's just become, you know how it is on the stupid, godless internet. It's just become an animal.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure the real story is lame.
You're right. The real story, if you believe the real story, It is kind of lame. It just, Corey Perry was kind of a dick to a trainer or an equipment guy or something. I don't know.
I should say, Chris Chelio's daughter, she's beautiful.
Wawa-wee-wa?
Holy cow.
Yeah. Hubba squared.
Understand?
So I wonder why Marcus decided not to talk about this yesterday. If it doesn't seem like it's that crazy. I mean, it's a rumor, right?
Well,
his brother was talking about it too.
Yeah, his brother was quoted.
Well, his brother plays for the club, so I can imagine, he'd have something. Okay. I don't know. Marcus just a respectful guy, I guess. He doesn't want to get tangled up in it. I can totally understand that. So that's that whole friggin' nightmare right there.
All right, gotcha.
As far as we know.
Listen, medical device Jesus, Corey Perry was not involved with my mom. She has nothing to do with it. I don't know if she's ever even been to Illinois.
No.
And just real quickly, if you don't have cable like Randy and...
They do have cable. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I do have cable.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you don't have cable like Randy and Nick, you can come to Kelly's Corner in Centerville tonight from 7 to 9.
Oh, you're going to be watching a Wild game?
Yeah, we're going to watch the Wild game with Coors Light.
Okay.
Well, tell us about it. What do you got?
7 to 9. We'll be there.
Yeah, you mentioned that already.
Yeah, we'll be there with Coors Light. We'll be handing
that's
out
twice that you've mentioned.
We'll be handing out some Coors Light gear and giving away Wild Sweet tickets.
Oh, nobody's going to be there. No one's going to be there.
Kelly's Corner.
No one's going to Centerville.
Stomping ground.
I really like that place.
Mm-hmm. Great Phillies.
Kelly going to be there?
I don't know.
I hope so.
It's his or her corner, for Christ's sake,
That'd be a shame if Kelly wasn't there. And you said sweet tickets, huh?
Yeah, sweet tickets.
They got cable.
They got cable.
How about that?
So there you go. Oh, Randy Shaver, another one of those cross-country skiers froze his penis.
Oh. I couldn't figure it out. Is this the same guy? Because he's had this issue before.
Oh, no.
I don't.
I hope not.
Josh, I do not believe it's the same guy.
Yeah, I thought it was. The article I read made it seem like it was the same dude.
Do you remember, Randy Shaver, the first time we talked about a cross-country skier?
I do. Yes.
This was in those Olympics. I have this somewhere is how you say it.
Because there was a guy from Finland that had it happen.
The 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, a Finn by the name of Remy Lindholm suffered from a frozen penis while in competition. I remember that day. It was brutally cold in Beijing, and they had some silly 7-hour-long cross-country ski final on television, and I remember seeing this Rennie.
Why are we just hearing about this now? Did it finally just thaw right now?
Well, no, the story's about another guy.
It happened again.
Oh,
it happened
okay.
again. I'm just giving folks a little background on the first frozen penis that I think any of us had ever heard of at the 2022 Olympics. He had to apply a heat pack to his dong at the end of the race, and it became a big story. Well, now another cross-country skier. This one is Jesus criminy, one of those big, stubborn Swedes. A cross-country skier by the name of Kalle Halvorsen froze his wad in a recent, World Cup event, World Cup cross-country skiing event. He said, "I have frozen my penis for real," he said on the internet. "I had to lie in the athlete's tent for 10 minutes to warm it up. It hurt so damn much, it's terrible," is what he said about having a frozen pecker. "It's lucky that I'm about to have my second child because it's going to be difficult in the future if I'm going to continue like this," he said. One of them, yes, okay, here he is again. If you want to know what it's like, he just simply said, it's the worst experience that you can have. The worst experience you can have. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
But it was awful cold, And they wear those friggin' skin-tight, like Spider-Man type
Right.
They do.
outfits.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem. They need to make advancements in that.
Or just jam some hand warmers down there.
That's what Insomniac Jesus said. Just put some hand warm. But
That
those
can
get
be
pretty hot,
dangerous,
though.
Yeah.
Those get hot.
Yeah, but, Wapple, they can't be wearing snowsuits. You want to set a world record time. Of
Right,
course, the outfits,
right.
of course, are the problem.
Right.
They're way too thin.
Wear
But
like a
Wapple, there's a need for speed.
Right.
Wapple.
Right.
That's why you wear like a G-string, Just a little extra layer.
Well, why don't you wear a G-string? You're not an athlete.
Maybe I am.
Maybe I am. Oh, man.
2 frozen penises.
I'm not coming to Centerville tonight.
According to Nick, no one is.
No. What are you, nuts or something? What are you going out to Centerville for or what? Yeah. That's a total of 2 frozen penises that we know of now. So, and we got
I'm sure there's more that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Well, Prince Harry, he said in an autobiography that he once froze his penis.
Prince
Really?
Harry. Prince Harry. What, England?
Yeah, this was, I think he said like in 2011, he froze his penis.
The Prince of England?
It happens.
That's unfriggin' believable. You know, something we haven't really talked about here, Randy Shaver. Frank Reich. He got canned as head coach.
Didn't even get through his first season.
No, he didn't. We haven't had a chance to talk about this. He lasted 11 weeks as head coach of the Carolina Panther.
What a mess that team is. And not only are they terrible, but their first-round draft pick belongs to the Bears.
Oh, that's right.
So they're going to end up handing the Bears Caleb Williams, the quarterback from USC. And now the Bears are going to have a very difficult choice. If they end up with the number 1 pick, which it looks like they might, what do they do with Justin Fields? And what will they end up deciding at the quarterback position? Because there are so many people who say you can't, if Caleb Williams decides to come out, you can't pass on this kid. But we'll see.
Right.
But, I mean, Carolina, what a mess. Just a mess.
The conversation, they're 1-10, I believe.
Yeah.
The conversation going around is how Frank Reich, only lasting 11 games, is in the all-time record books for one of the shortest.
It is.
Amounts of time as a head coach before he got shown the door. Urban Meyer only lasted 13 games with the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a different deal, though. Urban Meyer didn't get fired because, certainly they were not a very good football team, but Urban Meyer was just a prick.
He's a jackass,
yeah, he's just, that's how he got fired.
Oh, yeah,
It wasn't, Frank Reich is not that.
No. And no one's making that comparison. They're just comparing coaches who did not last very friggin' long.
Right.
Lou Holtz once lasted only 13 games with the New York Jets. Guys like Bobby Petrino with the Falcons, 13 games. Yeah. A couple guys in the 70s you never heard of. But does everyone know the Bill Belichick one-day deal with the New York Jets?
I don't think so.
I thought I'd heard this story before as well. Bill Belichick, speaking of pricks, only lasted 1 day as head coach of the New York Jets back in the year 2000. So he was going to succeed Bill Parcells, but he didn't even make it. Belichick didn't even make it through his opening press conference with the team. If you don't know the story, the vibe is just moments before he was to be formally introduced as the Jets' next head coach, he scribbled on a sheet of loose leaf paper that he was resigning from the position. He handed it over to the boss and shocked the living hell out of everybody. What are you talking about? We got a press conference. We got a live mic right now waiting for your ass. And he said, no, I'm leaving.
This is after he left Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Yes.
From what I understand, yes. Oh, back to the owner of the Carolina Panthers now. The guy who just fired Frank Reich. Apparently, he's a real big shot. I've personally never heard of the guy, but apparently he must think he's a real big shot. His name is David Tepper. He owns the Carolina Panther. So, Frank Reich gets fired. This Tepper prick mispronounced Reich's name during a press conference talking about his firing. Mispronounced his name. Now, according to some sources who know this Tepper guy, guys who cover the NFL and guys who know Tepper personally, Tepper calling Reich by the wrong name might have been by design. A source or two says that Tepper will intentionally pronounce names incorrectly as a way of putting people in their place.
One boy.
Doesn't that make you just want to throw that guy off the top rope?
Yeah, it doesn't
I've known
sound like a
people
guy
like
I'd like
that,
to
yeah.
work for anyway.
What kind of oddball stand is that to make as a grown person?
Right.
So, I mean, who's
You
going to
know
want to
what?
coach for this guy? Who's going to want to who's going to want to be the next
Right.
coach? Jeez.
Right. Sounds like a guy that's got cable.
I bet you're right.
Is this true? One of my all-time favorite NFL quarterbacks is going to play for one of my all-time favorite NFL teams. Joe Flacco's practicing with the Cleveland Browns.
He is.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's a desperate team right there. They've got a great defense. They've got a serviceable offense. And they don't have their star quarterback. And they've got a chance to make the playoffs in the AFC. All they got to do is survive the rest of the regular season. Finish 3-2 in their final 5 games, and they should make the playoffs. And he's like the security blanket right now for them.
A lot of people are texted in saying that I always mispronounce people's names. Trust me, it's not on purpose. Back to that Tepper guy. I don't do it on purpose. I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
How did David Tepper make his money? What does he own?
Randy.
What is he?
I can't wait to tell you because I don't even know what it means, but it sounds douchey. Are you ready, Randy?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to say it I'm going to say it the way I believe David Tepper would say it, or whatever his name is. Ernie Tepper. I forgot his name already. See what I'm saying? He's a hedge fund guy.
Oh, one of those guys.
I don't even know what that means. What does it mean to be a hedge fund guy?
It's like a Wall Street thing.
You deal with money of some sort. That's about
I
it.
think if I remember right, he's the kind of guy that hedges short funds or something. Is that right? Where he predicts the market will crash or the market will go down, and then he takes advantage when it does or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah, some people who worked with him back when he was doing that didn't have some nice things to say about him at all.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a nice guy.
So Joe Flacco will be the 4th starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year, if he in fact gets on out there and plays some football.
Right.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I always liked Joe Flacco.
How old is Joe Flacco?
He's 61.
Now he'll be 39 in January, I think.
He's 61 years old.
39 is young. I mean, Brady was almost 45.
Yeah, that Brady thing, that never really happened. None of that really ever happened.
That was just a movie.
Yeah. There's Thursday night football tonight for you to watch, Randy Shaver. Dallas plays Seattle.
Oh, ugly. Yeah.
I thought this was kind of funny. I found this on social media. Is this legitimate? I mean, on Christmas Eve, the Dallas Cowboys play the Miami Dolphins. Is that really going to happen, or is this just a setup for a joke?
I think you're right.
Okay. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, there is a lot of football. Yes.
All right. On Christmas Eve, the Dallas Cowboys play the Miami Dolphins. Someone online referred to it as the Annihilate Bad Teams But Lose to Good Teams Bowl. I guess I was the only one on that one. You guys,
it's looking more and more like that Vikings Packers New Year's Eve game will be played too. It doesn't look like it's going to get flexed. As long as the Vikings are breathing and the Packers are breathing for a chance to make the playoffs, that they'll leave that game alone. So
Vikings and Packers play when? I'm sorry.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve
at U.S. Bank.
Son of a bitch.
Sunday night football.
I bet everybody will be sober and behave that night.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a very calm and cool crowd.
Oh God, I remember my dad and I a number of years ago went and watched the Packers and Vikings play at the old Metrodome on Christmas Eve. We were walking the halls. Christmas Eve, Packers-Vikings at the old Metrodome. I'm not exaggerating. We were more or less walking the halls in an inch and a half of urine.
Ew.
People were just disgustingly intoxicated at that game.
Well, I was at the Vikings-Broncos game, Sunday Night Football, a couple weeks ago, and I haven't been to it. I don't go to many NFL games anymore, but you see those stories about fights and stuff. in the upper decks of stadiums and people drunken. After being in the upper deck at that Mile High, I can't believe there's not multiple deaths per game at NFL stadiums. It is just lawless.
Really?
Oh my God, people stumbling everywhere, people falling over rows. Like, it was insane up there.
Oh my gosh, that's fun though.
Yeah, well,
to watch.
There's a lot of times the play was about to snap, and I'm watching some drunk guy trip over the row in front of him instead of the actual game.
Don't get me wrong. I've gotten sideways a few times at ball games. But it seems like these days it's a mission for some people. They need to get as drunk as possible.
Mm-hmm. Right, and then they're actually that way before they even get into the ball.
Before they even walk in the joint.
Yeah, that's where the trouble is. The trouble isn't necessarily at the ballpark itself. It's more, as far as the drinking goes, it's more they've done their damage before they even walk through the gate.
There's someone walking around the parking lot with a beer bong filled with Bacardi, looking for takers.
Which I think, if this trend like this continues like that, you might see NFL teams or sports teams not allow them in if they feel like it's. I mean, sometimes it's. You have to shake your head, right? How do they even get in the door from the tailgate? From the tailgating part.
If they screen people for that kind of stuff at the game I was at a couple Sundays ago, there have been 9 people in the stands.
Yeah,
you never know where they might go with that. But so the Vikings and Packers play on New Year's Eve. 3 days before that, on December 28th, I know I'm looking forward to the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Oh, yeah, me too.
This looks cool.
I'm so excited. The mascot.
Randy Shaver, it used to be the Cheez-It Bowl. Now it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. College football.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Did you post the mascot, Ashley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it says here the Cheez-Its Bowl was nothing to, sneeze at. Last year in the Cheez-Its Bowl, there was a great game between Florida State and Oklahoma. The final score was 35-32. Very exciting. You drag a team out the ACC and the Big 12, and I guess the Cheez-It Bowls had some great games. So it's not like, some throwaway for the most part. They've changed the name to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We don't know who's going to be playing in it yet. I think we find out in a couple days where everyone's playing in these bowl games. But the big news about
Sunday.
Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
The big news about the Pop-Tarts Bowl is they're going to have an adorable Pop-Tart mascot.
Ah.
Okay. And then the folks who run Pop-Tarts, and God bless them, right? I mean, what a delicious snack that has been for hundreds of years. They want the winning team, because this is possible. This is going to be possible. They want the winning team to just go ahead and eat the mascot after the game is over.
So good.
I want to eat the mascot.
The mascot is going to be at least partially made of real Pop-Tarts.
That's so fun.
So it's kind of like the turducken during the Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving Day games. This is now the new tradition. With a real person inside.
I guess that real person, get your fingers and arms out the way, because the winning team's going to eat the mascot.
Oh, my God. I don't know if that's going to go very well.
I'm all over this.
Me too.
Oh, by the way.
Maybe if you break off a piece of it, and yeah, all right.
By the way, Randy Shaver, back to your conversation about folks showing up drunk to the ball game. Good point here from a listener who says, if it wasn't $32.50 for an 8-ounce beer, I wouldn't have to get drunk before the ball game.
That's not a
True.
good point.
Well, and that's why that they're loaded before they get in the gate.
The Wolves are playing at home against Utah tonight, 7 o'clock on BSN Regular. Don't expect to see Anthony Edwards tonight like we were discussing yesterday.
Yeah, have we seen? I tried to find something this morning. Do we know how long he might be out?
I haven't read anything specific.
Yeah.
But I saw it was referred to as short term.
Okay.
So let's bank on what, 2 games? Maybe.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked bad when it happened, but apparently he's a tough kid. So.
Yeah, he's pretty tough.
And they're like a 10-point favorite tonight. Utah's pretty bad. Markkanen's out; he's not playing, and they're kind of a mess. So their next 2 games, they get Utah without Markkanen, and they get Charlotte without LaMelo Ball. So they're going to be in pretty good shape. But again, these were the kind of games last year that they didn't win, right?
Mhm.
These were the games that they struggled in. So hopefully, if the Wolves really truly are a different team, they should take care of business tonight in the game against Charlotte.
I hear you. That'd be great if they could continue that pattern of proving that they're not the old Wolves. Well,
Yeah, right now, they're people are talking about them, man. People think that they've got a chance to be really good. So
you know what it is, Randy? It's become a thing.
it has become
It has.
a thing.
They've
I
become
agree.
a thing.
And it's become a thing nationally.
Mhm.
That's when people are talking about it. You watch these NBA shows now, people are starting to take notice. And a lot of it starts with certainly the way Ant has played, and the two guys, Gobert and Towns, are kind of playing well together. But the real key has been the way they play defense and how they've been holding teams under 100 points and all those kind of things. So as long as that continues, who knows? This could be the year.
It would be a wonderful thing. I know the rest of you don't watch a lot of Wolves, do you?
No.
I'm good for maybe 2-3 games a month.
That's something. But so maybe you won't understand this, but Randy Shaver probably will, and I know some Wolves fans in our audience will probably understand this. Can I do my imitation of Anthony Edwards every single time he drives the lane and goes to the basket? Every single time. Here's my imitation of Anthony Edwards every time he goes to the basket. Hey! Wolves fans know what I'm talking about. Every time. You haven't noticed that, Randy?
I have not.
Every time he goes to the basket, he screams, hey, at least once or twice to try to get a foul call from the referee.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Okay.
Wolves fans know what I'm talking about. Golden Gopher basketball plays tonight at 6 o'clock at home against New Orleans. I wonder what it's like trying to be a responsible college student in New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Probably the same way as it is at UNLV.
UNLV, right. God damn, I mean, we become animals. We become animals going to school at Mankato. You know what I mean? I wonder what it's like trying to be a college student in New Orleans.
Yeah,
God dang, hang on to something. So when do you come home, Randy? When do you get on an airplane?
We come back tomorrow night.
All right, so we'll be talking to you by the telephone again tomorrow.
Yep.
That's a wonderful thing. Have fun with the old lady as much as you can
All
have.
right.
I know what it's like. Have as much fun as you can have.
See, that's the beauty of it now. Now you can relate.
Yeah, I can. I can. As much fun as you can have with your wife. Thanks,
Right.
Randy.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. I always drove the cars, the Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghinis. They were always a little skeptical, but sometimes they go, all right, Rosie, just go up where the stop sign is and turn the car around, and we'll give you your cue on the walkie. And I go, great. And they're like, Rosie? I'm like, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, this stop sign? They're like, yes, there's only that stop. Oh, okay.
Jump in now or catch up on any of the past seasons of Talkville on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-assed morning show.
Absolutely hammered.
On 93X.
Yeah, for me running. Here we are. We got a great crowd out there. It's 8:32 on the 93X Half-assed morning show. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's the last day of No Nut November. I can't wait to finally nut. I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I feel you, man.
baby.
I'll tell you what.
It's been 30 long days.
Jesus Christ.
You got to stay up till midnight to do it, too. You can't just sleep and do it in the morning.
I hate this. I hate
right
going
away.
along with this all the way through November. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm setting an alarm just in case I fall asleep.
Smart.
Depends on. I mean, if it's a boring Thursday night football game, I might be out.
Just in case I fall asleep in front of the ball game, I'm setting an alarm so I can.
Yeah, I'm starting at 12:01 and I'll be over by 12:01.
Oh, wow. Lots going on today. And again, we got that great crowd out there. Yesterday we were talking about, at this time yesterday, we were talking about the little things that people do that drive their significant others crazy in a bad way, frustrates their significant others, pisses them off, leaving door opens, not cleaning up after.
Did anyone's significant other ask him about it later on?
No.
Yeah, me and my boyfriend actually talked about it because I wanted to know what things he thought that I did were annoying. And his only answers were, I'm very bad at, leaving stuff out. But he saved himself. He's like, you clean, though. So, because I'll let it go for maybe, a couple days, and then I'll do it, a deep cleaning day or whatever.
Ashley and Wapple, have either of your significant others ever mentioned the likes?
The likes, yes.
The amount of likes that the two of you include in an average sentence. Your significant others have mentioned that, Ashley.
He's called me out for it before, but he says he barely even notices it.
What about you,
now.
Wapple? Has your landlord ever mentioned the likes?
No, but I have gotten her onto saying "alls I know."
Oh, she copied you?
It
rubbed off on her?
Yeah, that's starting to come out of her now.
I love when that happens.
I could never be intimate with either one of you because of the likes.
This is great sex we're having.
I couldn't do it. Okay. The number one thing that I've done over my life that has annoyed my girlfriends, the number one thing is cheating.
Well, you've dated some girls that were tough to please.
Yes.
That's for sure. Very high maintenance.
If they were to name the number one thing that irked them a little bit now and again, that annoyed them a little bit, it was the cheating. There's a big story going around on Reddit. A lady told a story on Reddit about weren't we just talking about excuses too? When did we start talking about excuses? Why does that?
We were mentioning something yesterday.
We mentioned it in the stupid news story yesterday. Just for a brief minute, we talked about excuses. This lady on Reddit, if she's real, she is talking about an unbelievable, ridiculous excuse that her husband dumped on her to hide that he was throwing down some side action. And it's very funny. I found this to be pretty entertaining. And here's the whole friggin' story. She had to go on a work trip out of town.
A lot of those cheating stories start that way, right?
Yeah.
On either end of that.
Man, I used to cheat a lot when my significant others went on work trips, or if they were right there in the same town with me. Either way, it didn't matter. She had to go on a work trip. So the husband would be alone at home with their little son, little 5-year-old son. She called the first day to check in, but it took her husband a long time to get back to her. When he finally called her back, she asked to speak to their son. Dad said that the son was staying at Grandma's house so he could have some peace and quiet and get some things done. Right away, that sounds kind of shady, but that's not exactly where I'm going with this. But right then and there, what do you mean you took the kid to Grandma's house, for God's sake? Just like in, what was that movie called again? Old School. Just like in Old School, the wife's trip ended sooner than originally thought. She was excited to surprise her husband at home. She didn't walk in on a gangbang or anything like in Old School. She was excited to surprise her husband at home when she got there. He wasn't home, and he wasn't answering his cell phone. 6 a.m. the next morning, he comes in the door. Oh, I bet she was steaming all night long. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
6 a.m., he's just do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Oh.
So good.
I would be sitting up like they do in the movies, just waiting in the living room.
Yes.
All
In a
pitch
dark corner.
black.
Yeah.
Sharpening a knife with a rock.
Yeah. I have a cat in my lap for some reason. We don't even have one.
And it's hairless. A hairless cat.
Just stroking the cat and staring at the door. He finally comes in at 6 o'clock in the godforsaken a.m. She said he seemed very overly excited and happy to see her. This guy must be able to think on his feet, you know what I mean? Hey, there she is. Welcome home. He seemed happy and excited to see her, but she was obviously suspicious. So here's how the guy covered his tracks. He said he was staying at a hotel. God, this is a good one. Where you been? How come you weren't at home? I'm staying at a hotel. Why? He said, because the house had bed bugs and got fumigated. God, that's good.
And you just didn't tell me?
Yeah, you just happened to only decide to make this fumigation move now, you know. He probably never had mentioned bed bugs before. He got very defensive when she challenged him, which is a big...
Oh, that's what you do.
Yes, that's a sign, I think. She wasn't able to confirm that he was cheating. It sounds like he's standing his ground, but she went to Reddit and asked folks about it. Most people said, yeah, that sounds awful shady. Sounds like he was cheating. Why didn't he tell her about the bed bugs beforehand? Right, okay.
Yeah, unless he could show me a receipt.
Okay, that's mentioned in here.
Would you ask for one?
100%.
You would.
I'd be like, let me see the invoice then. You sketchball.
If you were suspicious enough, absolutely. And that's sort of mentioned in here. Folks recommend she check the credit card statement or call the bank or whatever, you know, to confirm that this payment was made to exterminators.
No, my buddy did it for free, actually. Great news.
Yeah, you know, if he's good, that's what he... You could make up a friend that's an exterminator.
Yeah, there
but
you
then
go.
maybe she'd say, okay, call this friend. You know what I mean? And then you got to call your buddy and somehow hope he plays along.
Hey, remember how you fumigated my house for bed bugs? Can you just pass that along to my significant other here? Hey, Dana and Ashley, truthfully, you know, this woman's going on social media for their opinion on stuff. If you had a real issue, would you ever... You guys are the most active social media users I know personally, which, by the way, I read yesterday is a sign of a narcissist. True story. I can forward you the article.
I'd love to read it.
Would you ever... Or have you done that before?
About like a significant other or something?
No, anything where you were legitimately looking for help on a situation.
No,
Not a very serious
I'd go to my
situation.
friends, and especially Reddit is the perfect forum for that because it's anonymous too. Whereas I'm not on Reddit, I'm just on Twitter. So I feel like a lot of people take their anonymous situations they want to keep their name out of to Reddit. But no, I've never really done that for anything of vast importance other than like where's a good place to get buffalo wings in River Heights.
Yeah, I've always done like small things like that, but yeah,
All the small things.
No relationship drama or anything.
I'll give this guy credit. He's pretty quick on his feet in some situations, if this is all true. You know, like he reacted so happy to see her. You know, I'll give him credit for that. A lot of dudes will be just frozen, you know. And
Did you cave once immediately?
I did.
Yeah.
It took a couple of minutes. But then, you know, the story about, well, I had the place fumigated for bed bugs. That's a little too ridiculous for anyone to believe. Yeah, I had to cave once, Josh. You're right. It was many, many, many years ago. I had a girlfriend, but oh God, there was this blonde that I met who was just stacked. God help us all.
It's got to be Povs related.
It was
The
Povs.
old
Yes,
Andover
it
bar.
was.
Aww.
What are you awing about?
Of course.
It was Povs in Andover. That place was just crawling with action. Anyway, she and I exchanged phone numbers, this blonde and I, and, you know, I don't know what happened. She upped.
Next thing I know,
she's sending me pictures of her in her underwears.
Well,
and less, and sometimes less. So F me if the girlfriend doesn't, for some reason, go through my phone, and she sees these pictures, and she says, in anticipation, maybe is the word, of possibly being caught, I changed the name. You guys know technology better than me. When you get a text message...
Yeah, the contact name.
Thank you. I changed the contact name. Her name was Bambi or something. I changed the contact name to Wade.
We've used Wade for a lot of things over the years.
Wade at the time was our program director, and he's right down the hall right now. That was my strategy. If ever naked pictures, you know, if ever she finds I can say, well, they're from... So she says, well, who is this girl? And I said, well, that's Wade, you know, he's just playing a prank on me. thought I had it nailed, and she said, let me get this straight. It's a prank for your boss to send you pictures of a naked girl over and over again? And I said, yeah, it all started when... All right, fine, you got me.
You didn't try very hard.
I mean, what do you mean I didn't try very hard? I mean, I was
pretty brilliant.
I don't know where I just didn't know where else I was going to go from there, and just right in the middle of I was hoping I was going to find something in my brain to continue that, and instead I just, all right, fine, you got me.
I know you've mentioned this story before, but I forget. Did that relationship last after that, or was that it?
We kept going.
Oh, I meant the blonde.
We kept going.
Concurrently, or did one follow the other?
One followed the other.
Yeah, like within minutes?
There was some time passed.
Some time.
Because it was just pictures, we weren't doing anything, me and this gal. What time is it?
So you weren't staying, what's the word? What?
Mala.
No?
Malananis.
Jeffrey texted in and wants to know, hey, wasn't Nick homogenous back in the day? No, it's monogamous is the word.
It was years and years ago, and I've changed my ways. Years and years ago, that was. Absolutely. I changed my ways. But it was fun while it lasted.
Underwhelmingly optimistic, Jesus said, no joke. I know a guy, he didn't come home one night. When his wife confronted him, he said he went to have a sleep apnea test after work and just fell asleep.
That's
a good try.
I mean, who could think of something like that?
That's pretty good. Pretty damn good. Until, like you guys were saying, you start asking for receipts and such, and then...
Well, what were the results?
I don't know if I ever told Wade that I used him for a sleazy,
Have we told him all the things we've used him for?
Oh, the other things we've used Wade for are also kind of fun to talk about.
Getting out of uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Josh and I, at times, at public radio station functions, gigs and things like that, we would sometimes find ourselves in conversations that we didn't want to be in. You'd end up running into someone who wouldn't shut up, wouldn't leave you alone, a close talker, something bad like that. We prepared for that by, if I ever saw Josh in a situation where he looked obviously uncomfortable in a long conversation or something like that, I would walk up and I'd say, hey, Wade's on the phone. And we agreed to do that for each other.
My favorite moment of that usage is when I was talking to Wade when he came back. Wade was in Chicago for a long time.
Yeah.
He came back. I'm talking to Wade in the hall, and Wade and I were always, I would say, friendly, if not friends. And we were talking, and we have a lot of mutual interests. We're kind of just geeking out.
Oh, my God. You guys were having a conversation for a smooth 40 minutes.
Yeah, outside of a bathroom, right? We ran into each other. And I hadn't seen him yet since we got back, so I was, of course, excited to see him.
You were gone for a while.
That's right. You remember that.
We thought you died in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no, I knew that you and Wade were having sex or something. Yeah, I knew it, because I know you guys really have always liked each other, so yeah.
And so Nick comes back to the bathroom, and he goes, hey, Josh, Wade's on the phone.
Yeah. While you're talking to Wade, yeah.
Moose Ninja Jesus, he's checked in on the topic of No Nut November. If you're not familiar, the idea is you don't orgasm for the month of November, and supposedly it helps your body in some way. And he said, wait, No Nut November, that ends at the end of November? Well, that's 3 years wasted.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
All right, I'm about ready to get the hell out of here. I think the rest of you are feeling the same way. I mean, what more can we give? But before we get out of here, Dana.
Yes.
I need you to talk to me here for a couple minutes.
Sure.
Tell me how you got so involved in the Fast and Furious movie franchise. Tell me why it means so much to you. Tell me, say, do you remember when you watched the very first one? Start from the beginning. Your fascination with the Fast and Furious movie series.
I'd actually like to know this as well.
The first movie came out when I was 16. It was the very first movie I ever drove myself and my friends to.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a monumental moment.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Wade's on the phone.
We got you! We got you.
I love you guys so much.
I'm sorry. I got to take a call.
He's got it, Dana. He's got to take this.
We'll talk about this some other time.
I was still wondering where you guys were going with this.
And you seem so happy.
I love talking about the Fast and Furious. You guys know that.
That was cold-blooded, and I apologize.
I loved every second
But
of it.
I have to... Hello, Wade. Hello?
Oh, I love you guys.
Now, Wapple, talk about some of your favorite strains of marijuana.
No, I'm good.
How did it start? Tell us about the first time. Yeah, we were talking about cheaters, weren't we? People who... Specifically, there was a story on Reddit about a guy who cheated on his wife, and he had a terrible excuse, is how you say it. A terrible excuse. She got home. How come you haven't been spending night at the... Oh, I got the house fumigated, whatever. We were talking about this guy. Had a terrible excuse for cheating. You want to hear some more poor excuses for the people have used after getting caught cheating? A dude cheated on his woman, and he told her he was worried that he wasn't satisfying her in bed, so he wanted some extra practice.
So he's doing it for her benefit.
Doing it for her benefit.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's true romance right there.
See, because the next time I pin you,
that's a good line.
You're going to be able to feel the difference.
What if she's like, oh, okay, wait a minute.
You son of a bitch, you had me. Dude told his woman, after he got caught cheating, that this girl was hitting on him. A girl was hitting on him at the bar, and she wasn't very attractive at all. So he thought it would be a nice gesture to fold her, since she probably doesn't get laid very often.
No, baby, you got it all wrong. I was just trying to be a nice guy, that's all.
Look, I took pictures of her. Look at her. She's not very attractive, is she?
Yeah, it's usually the case, right?
If she was pretty at all, I wouldn't have done it,
obviously not.
I love this stuff.
I had a bad one in high school. It was pretty embarrassing. It was 18, 19. It was the summer going into college. So we were partying a lot, and my buddy's parents were out of town for like 2 weeks. They went to Europe. It was just fantastic. It was just this revolving door of people coming in and out of the party for the whole time. And some girls from the neighborhood high school came over, and I knew them pretty well from over the years. And one of them, we always kind of had a little flirty vibe thing. And for a couple beers, she ends up pulling me into the laundry room. We start making out. Well, my girlfriend was also at that party.
This is really uncomfortable, Dana. Yeah, Wade's on the phone, Nick.
God, well, I gotta go. You guys can listen to the rest of the story.
Dana, it's not us, it's Wade.
It's Wade. It's understand.
All right, now I feel like a dick. Go ahead. So I truly am interested.
So she comes in, she must have asked, where did Dana go? And I saw him go down that way. She opens and turns the lights on. And I look at the girl I was making out with. I look at my girlfriend. We'll call her Sarah. And I look back. I go, oh my God, I got pulled in here. I thought it was you, Sarah. I didn't know it was this girl.
It was dark.
Yeah.
Did you have that excuse beforehand, or that's just what came to your mind?
Just what came. I was like, I got pulled in here. I thought it had to have been you. And then the girl I was making out with just started laughing. It was like, you're an idiot. My girlfriend ran off. I was like, no, that didn't work, did it?
Was that it for that relationship?
No, we ended up dating for like another 6-8 months.
Really?
Yeah.
It's high school. You put up with a lot in high school.
Yeah. You do. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah, like those relationships are on and off and on and off and on and off forever.
Yeah.
All right, I got just a couple more of these horrible reactions to being caught cheating. Now, here's a gal. She confessed to her boyfriend that she had cheated in a previous relationship. Yeah, back in the day, I did cheat on my boyfriend. She told her current boyfriend how deeply she regretted it. Well, then she found out he was banging some gal on the side a few weeks later, and she said, what the hell's wrong with you? And he said, well, you cheated in the past, and you were likely to do it again. Cheater, you.
Preemptive cheating.
And then this is always a good one. We were in different countries, so it doesn't count as cheating.
I've heard that before, right?
Lady.
Leaving the zip code?
Yeah, zip code, area, whatever, area code. The lady tells her boyfriend, we were in different countries. It doesn't count. And the boyfriend here says, for some context, yes, we were in different countries because I was in Afghanistan defending our freedom.
Oh. That's treason.
That's awful. Yep.
But yet
she's not a true American.
But yet she says, "Well, you were off in Afghanistan," as if he said, "Hey, honey, I'm going to go to Afghanistan for a few weeks. I'll be right back." You know.
Yeah, I'm at a Sports Illustrated swimsuit photo shoot.
Oh,
that's terrible.
awful.
You can't
Just
do
awful.
that. You can't do that.
No.
She did that.
Treason.
It's treason. You know, Richard Beating Jesus, he texted in just to let us, quote, douche canoes know today's his Friday, and he wanted us to wish him luck deer hunting tomorrow morning. Best of luck to you. Steel-Eyed Jesus said he'd like to shout out his old coworker Terry, the only person he knows that takes more days off than the 93X crew. Hey, that's pretty cool. Finally, it's tough to find one of those people, and now we know Terry is one of them.
The 93X half-assed morning show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.